This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
Did you try cooking Pepsi?
Yeah.
Right as I turn the sound on, you say that, Bruce. Welcome to Open Comms. It's Friday night. How's it going, guys? It's not St. Patty's Day today. What is it, Sunday? But
It's our St. Patty's Day.
we're doing it. We're doing it tonight.
Speaking of which,
We've been the last 4 years. Oh yeah. Hyper Viper is back. We swapped him in for Dirk. We kicked Dirk out.
Yeah, whatever.
Dirk's
Whoa!
retired again.
Oh shit, he's here.
He just showed up.
Spooky.
Oh shit. All right. Well, I'm assuming
Nah,
we'll
you're
be
gonna
doing
have to
some
play
cam
Russian
rearrangement.
picture.
We'll do that in a bit.
Fucking hauling ass, turning and burning, man.
Damn.
I lit that fucking Jersey highway up.
Did you must have had 4 lug nuts in then if you got all the way.
Holy shit, yeah, I had extra lug nuts,
Yeah.
bro.
Fuck. Okay, then we got a Dirk. I'm here. I'm Drayden. We got Rain. We got Brisk. We got LB, Hyper, and Ironwolf. The whole crew is here.
Yay.
Real quick to open up. We're not gonna spend a lot of time on it, but we're just gonna open up with a shot for. I'm assuming most people have heard about the stuff that went down in Christchurch in New Zealand. There was a couple shootings at some mosques down there. With a bunch of people that got killed in that. So we're gonna do some shots in remembrance of those guys. So ugly business. Shots.
Shots.
But we're gonna move on from that. Do you have the link then, Dirk, for the Zoom?
Hold on a second.
It should be in
shit.
Have
Discord.
to set up all the cameras again.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
shift them
shit's good.
around.
You
So,
just go ahead.
Thank
He's
you.
good at that, though.
but
Hey, Drayden, that's a nice name tag you got going on there.
oh yeah, you
It'd be a
noticed?
shame if
Is
something
it-
happened to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I am now in Dice. I moved to NC Dot. So
This show is slowly going north.
snuck
I
out
just
of
think it's
Black
funny
Legion.
that it's like all Black Legion, and now it's no Black Legion.
Pinky's out, Drayden.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm splitting two.
Okay. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll get the cameras sorted. So while I do that, you guys can.
You never fixed my
Take it really
alliance
quick.
symbol either.
My little toggle things have their own cameras.
Yep.
It's so much fun.
That's fun times.
So news this week. Dirk's here. Do you guys want to start off with the big stuff, or should we hit the little stuff?
I think the little stuff first. That way, because I have a feeling we'll be touching.
That big stuff is gonna be like.
I have a feeling we're gonna be talking about the patch notes for quite a while. So just in case.
I've been reading Dirk going off on it, so it's gonna be a
Just in
little
case
bit,
it goes
gonna be a little
long
bit.
or something, we can just carry that to the end of the show if we have to. We can get all the
Should-
quick stuff out first.
I was gonna say the quickest thing I think we have is the Triglavian billboard thing with the scope.
Right.
I think that's like a huge lore thing. I've been seeing a couple folks talking about it on my Twitter feed and Discords, but apparently there's So CCP talked about a new ship potentially coming in during the summer, and I think the Triglavian people are suspecting it's a cruiser size. They're talking about cruisers with
Yeah.
two little laser beam things or whatever their
Why you
weapons are
smiling,
called.
Briss?
Yeah.
What do you
They're
know, bro?
predicting a
Brisk.
Triglavian
What is it,
assault
Brisk?
cruiser.
What?
Triglavian
What's the
assault
new
cruiser
ship,
with
Brisk?
two turrets on it.
Is it a
You
recon?
guys will find out. Chill.
Logi. T3.
Oh,
It's a hack.
it
It's
needs
a
to
hack.
be a cloaky, a covert I jumping
got one.
one.
Since we're talking about ships, are they ever expanding the monitor line, like smaller? Like,
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
that sucks.
Expanding
Given
the what?
that a lot of people don't think there should be monitors in the first place, I
The
think
FC ship. Dirk.
Oh, the
The
flagship line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Wolf wants an FC frigate apparently.
I mean,
Like,
it'd be
he gets headshot too much.
No, actually, not any more than any other SCs I know recently.
Yeah, you're not getting a headshot. You're just in frigates. That's what happens.
You
You're
get
there and
smart
then you're
bomb.
gone.
Not me, man. I'm in the monitor all the time. Go ahead.
Did you guys ping the Imnasium?
I did.
Yes.
It was
And-
not a
and-
creative
and-
ping,
and-
but
and-
it made
It
mention.
really fails on the pings.
Yeah, well.
But anyway, so
Not enough
It
tails.
might need a
for-
Dirk ping.
for those who like lore, do you guys want to link the scope? Dirk, can you link that? Link the scope?
He's like trying to catch up.
I can't link it. I get timed out.
The scope?
Yeah, so the scope
I'll get
YouTuber.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't see where it is on here.
I think the
Alright.
the other one was better, not the scope.
Okay.
But,
Yeah,
Where
the
did I
player
go?
made one.
the player made one. Where is
Oh.
it?
I'm gone. My face is.
We're a
Uh,
little bit
the
discombobulated,
discourse.
guys.
Link the
Bear with us.
discourse one. It
Oh,
shows the whole
Discourse,
video
okay.
right at the beginning, and then they break
Hello,
it down
glorious
right after.
and this.
Whoops.
Yes. Okay.
Cole's notes: Triglavians don't like drifters, and they don't like Sancha. So,
Which
fun.
is
Which
weird.
is gonna be cool.
Why would they specifically call it Sancha?
Because they're afraid of shield slaves.
Yeah. So if you watch,
It's not gonna happen.
Oh, yeah, Shield Slaves, that's another fucking topic. If you watch the video, it breaks it down. Whereas the lore behind Triglavians is all Slavic, and they talk about the flow of something or other, and that's your trip to the afterlife, and they associate it with birds. So birds flying south in the winter is like your soul flying south into the afterlife. They consider drifters and Sanchas to be fucking with the flow because they're immortal, right? Drifters fuck with your
Oh.
body, and Sanchas fuck with the clones, right? That's where the clone technology comes from. It's from Sancha. So those two groups are on the hate list for Triglavians.
Oh.
So these will probably
Neat.
be Amar purists or Amar sympathizers.
That actually is a good point because the Amarians don't really believe in like the clones. Like that's why
Exactly.
Jamil was such a controversial figure.
Yeah.
Some people thought she was like a capsuleer, and some people said no, like she's not. She's like holy because she was reborn or whatever.
As a capsuleer.
In the pod.
In a pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You
that'll be
Lore
interesting.
nerds.
100%.
Nerds.
We can bring
I
Asher
think-
off now.
video game nerd.
Hey.
Anyway, we're
Hey,
not going to talk about it. So
Azio Kamez, thanks for the 16 months.
Did somebody have a problem with fonts or something in the show notes?
Don't complain about the
Stop,
fonts. It's
dude.
show notes, man. You're just gonna erase it in a minute.
It's because I didn't do them this week.
Are we
They're
supposed to
not the
erase it or
fonts.
cross it out?
No, we
They're
crossed
They're
it
so
out.
Highlight
big,
them?
erase them.
I copied and pasted the headlines, Dirk. I copied
It's-
and pasted the headlines.
Some of
I
us
didn't
can't
change the
read
font.
well, Dirk.
One page of show notes is now 3.
There, I fixed it. There you
It's
go.
not like I
we
printed them
figured
out.
you were getting old, Dirk. So
Yeah.
we had to
Don't
help you
delete
out,
it.
bro.
No, my God.
Oh,
he
look at
changed
that
the
font.
font.
You-
Are you kidding me?
Keep
Yeah,
it like
right.
that.
Might as well- might as well be
Keep that that
transparent.
way. Okay.
Change it to Comic Sans.
I like
Uh,
how it's the lobster font. Does anyone else catch
Oh
that?
no, not cursive. I never learned how to read that.
Yeah. Well, and then, yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. Anytime I add lore to Eve is always neat. Even somebody that doesn't follow the lore stuff, I still find it neat and at least add some more depth to the game instead of the same old, same old. And well, that and I've been playing too long.
I feel like with Eve though, there's a lot less people into the lore than most other. You look at other RPGs and people might follow it a bit more. Eve, it's like the RP crowd and that's it. No one else.
Well, what
Well,
I
how
find in games
Like I know
with
there used to be an
communities
Emperor
like ours-
Jamil and that's about it. And she's
What
dead
I
now.
find in games with communities like ours, people don't care about the lore. They tend to care about the in-game politics. Star Wars Galaxies was the same way. Like if it hadn't been Star Wars, nobody would have cared about it.
Well,
it was
Yeah,
all the
and like
stuff that we did in game.
we've always had those clicks. We've always had those clicks of like alliances that did the lore thing, but I think that's died out over the
Well, I
years. to be
think
honest.
I think Studicon got it right though. Is everyone's into the player built lore like that? Is a lot of people
Oh,
get into
you
like
getting
the
your chips again?
history
dude?
of alliances and all that kind of stuff. So there's less interest in the NPC lore.
It depends on who you are. I mean, there are plenty of people out there that are really big into the freaking, narrative-driven lore that CCP provides them and whatnot. And then there's an entirely different group of people who only think about the player-driven lore because the player-driven lore is what drives the thing most of us are involved with. The rest of it
God
is
damn
just
it, LB's eating again.
the rest of it is just a reason
I think he does
why
it 'cause you
a
get
new
pissed.
mod came into the game or whatever the fuck it is.
So
Well,
go on.
Go ahead, Ren. Well, I
I
just
was-
like new ships and stuff like that, and anything. I don't know. I'm not a big lore fan or anything. I just find it interesting. But
I
the thing
mean,
about
you're,
lore
you're a
in the
different
past,
kind of lore fan, right? I mean, everybody's got
I-
their own lore in their alliances. I mean, it's
True.
lore is. I mean,
You mean
New
propaganda?
lore
Thanks for
means
the-
propaganda
player
lore.
events, right?
I mean, it's all the same thing.
Anonymous, so thanks for the sub.
With
Kind
every
of
new-
switching from that, if we want to talk about player-driven stuff, I know Falcon talked about Aether Wars, which is the non-Eve sort of like what was it,
Eve
games
thing.
developer convention or whatever. This non-Eve push using Eve assets to really test like cloud. What is it, like cloud servers or like something along
it's
those
a
lines?
cloud. It's a cloud-based engine, I believe, is what.
Yeah,
it is.
cloud-based engine. But
you were here
he-
last week when we
Yeah.
tore this apart, weren't you?
Yeah.
yeah, and I like kind of forgot. Like
We
I was
literally
busy.
talked. We
Not
literally
talk
talked
about
about
it
what it
anymore.
is last week, but we've had 12,000 signups, or at least as
Which
of the
is
other day.
all
Which is
bullshit.
impressive.
All right.
It's
That's
bullshit.
all. That's all fucking great.
Whoa.
Mister wants to pay everybody to come to a fucking
Fucking
demo.
right, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
12,000 signups, which I think is really good in the amount of time since it actually came out. We'll see how many actually freaking show up to it.
If we get a third of that, I'll be.
I'll be there.
For those unaware, it is Wednesday the 20th at 10:30 Pacific time.
Oh, this
Which, yes, of March.
What's
so,
that Eastern time? Someone help me out here.
So
Well, hold on.
that's
What's the
1:30
UTC?
That's
I'm just
1:30
kidding.
Eastern. I think it's 17:30
17:30.
There we go.
UTC.
Yeah, I'll be at
UTC.
work.
So that's Eve time. So for those who are really bad at math, what that means is if you're in the U.S. and you work a normal day job, you're probably not going to make it. If you're European and make it home by 5, you might be able to make it. So for
I mean,
someone
it's
like me,
literally like in between EU and US. I mean, it's not even in between. It's like barely EU prime time. It's the
Yeah.
middle of the workday for Americans.
and
There's
so
no
the
way that 12,000 is going to show up.
yeah.
No,
so I know
12,000
I've
are
signed
not gonna
up.
show up.
I know I've signed up, and I'm definitely not making it. I have a job, so
But-
I'm not.
What I do
There we go.
find,
I have
what
a job,
do
I'm
find
still
interesting
going.
is not that 12,000 are going to show up, but that 12,000 even signed up, because that means that it did get attention out there enough for people to click a few buttons and sign up for the thing. I'm actually shocked by the 12,000 number on that.
Why? I mean, they email everybody.
Well, yeah. but
I didn't even
think-
get the email. I just
You email
Rain told me
300,000
about it.
people, and you're going to get
You're
get
welcome.
1% clicks, and
Thank
there you
you.
go.
Well,
I still think
300,000 people don't play this
it's
game.
not
but
going to
whatever.
be. I don't know. I wasn't here.
I'm
till
sure
you
that that's
guys
how many
talked about it.
accounts have email addresses still.
But I think I don't know. I think it's gonna be a neat showcase. But I think if there's gonna be a limited amount of what clicks and interactions that they can all do, it's not gonna be as intensive as a 10,000 person battle fight.
Right.
At least I
Well,
don't think.
They said, oh, it's gonna be a massive 10,000 person free for all, and like you said, I don't know how you're gonna identify people, but for some
You're
reason I
not.
just have like, are you sure?
And this
Because
is-
I can
you're
just
not-
imagine
Brain,
E
this
players
is the
just
thing.
like
This is what drives me
ganging up.
crazy. This is what the game is basically a ship on rails, and you push one button and it pews. That's the game. That's what
Yeah,
we're
but
going to
people
be
are gonna
testing.
team
It's just
up
going to
and
have
they're
an
gonna be
E
like-
ship.
They're gonna
as the-
time
as
their
the asset.
shots to like not shoot each other,
Alpha
shoot the
shot.
bad guys. They're gonna be
I
like,
doubt
goons are gonna be like,
sincerely-
hey guys, everyone press the button now.
I would
Just
be
like alpha
surprised if they
nerds.
even have it set up that you can put your name in it. It's just going to dump you into the server.
Hmm.
And it just the
Probably
whole
not your
thing is
name,
going to be a
but
big
whatever you signed
letdown
up
for
with.
everybody.
With,
Yeah.
you know, with whatever you sign. Anyway, it's not a matter of it being a big. Well, number one, if you went into
Have
it
you guys
with
seen the
misguided,
recommended?
if you went into it with misguided expectations that it was going that
Requirements?
because they said that they're going to use Eve art assets, that somehow or another it's going to be fucking daredevils on daredevil frigate fighting or some shit. Okay, then you went into it with misguided expectations. This is a demo at a
demo of the engine.
a demo
It's
of
not
the
even the Eve
engine
game.
at the conference, okay? And it is really about, can we even get motherfuckers logged into the system in mass scale?
It's-
Look,
it's
all
not
I'm
gonna be
all
the
I'm
Eve
telling
game.
you
I
is
I
that
just know
I know
Eve
our
nerds are
player
gonna try to
base.
game it. They're gonna
I
try to
know our
game it,
player
Chris.
base. I know they don't read very well. And what's going to end up happening is they're going to log in. They're going to see this. What the fuck is this? This isn't Eve. And they're going to bitch about it like you never believe. It's going to be bad. And I mean, just trying to argue with people. I mean, the patch notes, the whole devlog this week has been a perfect example of that. You know, everybody doesn't, they jump into conclusions and freak out. It's just, I don't know. I feel like, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer and say, oh my God, this is going to be awful. They're going to suck or anything. It's just this whole thing, I think, has been poorly executed and poorly communicated. And
So
Yes,
you
the
think
12,000 is
they're,
blocked,
so you think
but-
they're going to be let down? So you hold on a second. Let me wrap my head around this. So you think that they're going to be let down by what the actual kind of test sort of thing is, and versus what their expectations are,
Yes.
but that CCP should cough out 300 million ISK for each one of the people who shows up.
I
I
am
thought
absolutely,
Tree Fitty
absolutely agree with that statement. Yes.
Okay.
Should be about Tree Fitty.
No, I think they'll get over 1,000. I think they'll get 2,000.
I mean, it's going
They
to
had 1,000
whatever
for their
happens. Whatever
last
happens,
one.
I'll tell you right now, they will. The 10,000 number will probably happen, whether it's 3,000 live people and 7,000 bots or whatever. They're gonna find a way to test the 10,000. But I hope that we could get a higher number of people to try it out. Even though I think in the long run, this is probably a bad thing.
I think it's a bad time, to be honest with you. I think
It is a bad time.
San
And I think if they
Francisco.
did it on a Sunday,
It's a
it would
conference
be
in San
better.
Francisco.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like I said last week, we're basically booth babes for these guys to try to show off their tech, and that's fine. But I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
But
All right,
anyways, yeah.
next.
So 12,000 people signed up. Look, honestly, if you're trying to help what may be the next, show up. Try and show up. If you can show up, show up. I mean, obviously, it is not a fucking.
I'm interested. I'm gonna go.
Red pen fucking CTA or anything that's getting called here. Nobody's fucking keep
Yeah,
stars
I'm sure-
dying.
I'm sure
Colin,
Tess will do
sick
it.
to work.
Yeah,
Divorce your
absolutely.
dog. Leave
So-
your wife.
Going on.
I wish. Be cheaper.
I know a lot of
Falcon.
people.
Sorry.
No, that's a bigger topic. We still got this little shit to do, like the overview. So for those who are unaware, people have been complaining about the Invasion Tournament series, which is
Shocker. People are
which is the
complaining.
2v2 tournament that's going to be at every live event. And CCP said, hey, we're not going to let you change your hotkeys. And they went back on it. And then they said, hey, we're not going to let you change the overview. And they aren't letting you change the overview. But for everyone's awareness, they're going to use the Sarah Shawa overview pack for the tournament. So if you aren't familiar with it or you want to practice with it, you can easily access it. I actually say that, isn't it like just Sarah Shawa, like in-game channel or
Yeah.
something like that? So that's established by or created and maintained by Otaka Shawa, who's actually in my corp. So you guys should all check that out. And that was confirmed by CCP Dopamine on Twitter. And CCP Dopamine, I believe, is actually a Nova community manager, and now he is working on the Eve project. So for those who are unaware, he is actually part of the community team. So no, it is not just Falcon and Guard. So, but that has been announced. So just as everyone's FYI, because I know we talked about it at one point, but carry on.
Yeah, we
So
did.
what we have to
talked,
look
we talked
forward
about the
to
fact
in
that
the
people were
next
bitching. What's that?
I said what we have have to look forward to for the next AT, right?
No.
It's kind of an in between, I guess. I mean, if you want to really watch PvP, there's that and player run tournaments.
I think it's a good idea. I'd like to see it. And if it works out, I mean, one of the things I would like to see the AT become, instead of just a tournament that happens over like a 2-week span or a 1-month span, I'd like to see it like every other esports. Make it a leagues, make it a league thing where you have weekly fights and people can follow their teams and cheer them on and stuff and make it so that it's more like baseball season rather than.
Wasn't somebody
like a
running one of those for a
tournament.
while?
That was probably
that'd be
Even
fun.
T doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
Even T, I know they got extremely burned out, and we need consistent Thunderdome support to be able to run those tournaments.
Right.
Which is hard, so. So next transition, we're gonna go to some memes, and Drayden is gonna post all these Falcon memes in Twitch chat.
Oh shit.
You're making
Do
him
we have
work.
the memes?
Yeah, they're right
Oh,
here.
they're-
Oh no, it's too.
No one
really
else was
is.
talking, so
I got it.
Is that really? Okay.
What? What were you gonna say?
Nothing. Fucking just do whatever you're doing.
Yeah, the Falcon memes were pretty funny. Some were pretty funny. I like them.
The
Yeah.
I don't know. The one I haven't looked at a lot of them. I figure it's. I mean, the one Manic
I
made.
saw the one with like he was Zordon.
The Malkovich one that Manic made was pretty good.
The Mannix Malkovich one was probably the best one next to my American Gothic one that I did.
But I don't know. Like I like the meme. It's funny, but I feel like it's already kind of coming up on its expiry date.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a dead
Expiration
date. But we still have to visit it.
It's only been a week. I mean, it's basically a week. Basically a week
That's
since
about
they started to come out.
What
Because
about
what-
this week's
because
news?
when we put up the last Friday, we put up the Falcon face as our shot light.
Are we still going to do that? Because I think it's pretty cool.
Of course we should. And I was really hoping that somebody would have taken the fucking initiative this week to have turned it into a GIF or something where it like spins around or has some light coming out of its eyes or something like that.
Man, if only
I think
we
we know
had
that.
If
someone
only we
who's
had
really
somebody
good at
who had
gifs on
talent
the
making
show.
fucking
Shut
pictures.
up.
Sorry, Avalon.
There you go. Shots. Shots.
Oh yeah, we said.
I don't know. I like the Ides of March one. About
That one was good.
That was a good one from today. I really did. I
Yeah.
thought
That
was well done.
that I mean that wasn't the Falcon one, but that was pretty solid. It actually
find it.
made sense to me.
22
The
Stabbers
Brutix
and a
thing?
Brutix.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Usually clever memes like that take a
Well-
sec to sink in with me, but
It was funny because I think okay. I was up in Connecticut, but well, I know I was up in Connecticut, but I think that actually began over in Talking in Station's Discord. I believe it was Claven that created that. First, he mentioned something about the Matani and whatever it was, fucking 20 stabbers and a Brutix or whatever.
Greg,
And
you can take Falcon's face down now. It's scaring me.
and then I saw him post that. He said, I decided to go with a meme with it instead. So yeah, that was pretty creative. It actually started this morning, and then
No, that was brilliant.
I love
Shut
it.
up.
I think it's great.
Et tu, Brutex.
A2 Brutex. I like it.
Yeah. Good times.
funny thing is like, I mean, I don't know, it's not off topic, but that's a Shakespeare thing. They're pretty sure that realistically, Caesar did not say "Et tu, Brute" when he was getting stabbed. He probably was like "ah" and then died. Like they're pretty sure that
Probably.
Well, nobody could have heard.
there was
what
no
he said
drama
because
going on. It's all apocryphal stuff. But
when he was
it
getting
sounds good.
stabbed, he threw his toga up over his face, so nobody would have heard what he said at the end anyway. So
Yeah.
it is.
Togas
it's all
just cover your
Shakespeare.
face. They don't muffle sound.
I mean, like the only people that would have heard him
Oh,
say anything are the
Joseph
people that
would
were
be.
stabbing
nothing
him.
with a
So
big toga over your head.
Have you ever worn a
I'm wearing
toga?
a towel.
Yes, I was in a fraternity in college.
Yeah, I-
See,
Exactly. You know you can talk to
These
a
kids
towel.
They have
Risk.
geek fraternities. Come on.
I don't think I've ever worn a toga.
Well, and the togas probably back then were thick wool, not like this nice polyester.
It was March. They
Wait,
probably
I thought
were-
polyester
oh,
wasn't
cool.
nice.
Only if it's for gamer girls.
Yeah, gamer girl jerseys is fine, but
You guys
Oh,
want to
yeah,
talk about?
We still need to get.
I saw
the dress so that
Otis
Rain
Day in the
can,
Nights
can wear
live,
it
by the
for
way.
us.
who?
Otis Day in the Nights.
Nice.
That's before my time, I'm
See,
assuming.
Brisk fucking knows.
Yeah.
Come on, Otis
Yeah,
Day
no
in the
clue.
Nights.
Shimalima Ding Dong.
Hey, these
Wait,
guys,
wait, wait.
These guys love us.
I saw him
Isn't
play
that Pootie
live at
Tang,
a fucking
though?
club in Daytona Beach for fucking spring break.
That's awesome.
Did you say
Great. If you
Pootie?
haven't seen Animal
I said
House,
Pootie
well,
Tang.
come on.
Haven't you seen that movie, Rain?
Pootie
Of course
Tang is
fucking
good
Pootie
too.
Tang,
I like
man.
Pootie Tang.
Oh, you
We're
should.
talking about Animal
Pootie
House.
Tang's a classic.
Wada Top, my
Aw.
main Damie.
It's a little too early to be doing fucking Pootie Tang talk.
Yeah, that's true.
We need
So-
a couple more
as
shots,
much
man.
as I do appreciate Pootie Tang talk.
I haven't seen that movie
You
forever.
need more shots.
I
before we
forget
talk
almost
fluid.
all the stuff for it, but
Ugh.
I did have to do like a
I
study
need
session
to
on
watch
it.
that again. I gotta watch that again now. Now you made me. Every time somebody says bye Felicia, I gotta go watch Friday again.
Oh,
So it's like,
I
you know.
hate.
Bye,
I hear that all the
Felicia.
time, dude.
Bye, Felicia.
And that's what drives me crazy. Like people don't even know what it's from. It's like, come on, guys.
No, I see it on Facebook.
I never-
Like,
I-
"Bye,
It's
Felicia."
from straight out of Compton. Are you
I
But
Oh
people see
my
it on
God.
Facebook, and then they're like, "Oh,
I
yeah,
only
well,
saw
bye,
Friday
Felicia."
once, and it was like 6 years ago, which is like way after it was made. But
It was like on Saturday.
I think I watched it on a Monday.
Maybe Sunday for you.
Yeah,
Day after Friday.
Friday after next.
By the way, you know, I'm just gonna call a fucking pre-shot on this because this is something I've been kind of watching for a while. So you might as well just line them up.
What?
But since we're like, you know, in transition mode, I am doing a fucking shot here for Kadiase for hitting every motherfucking system that
Dude, I salute you. You're a fucking badass.
I remember I remember years ago him, her, like her as a character in game. I actually don't freaking know.
It's
you know, out there, you know, being all, you know, going on. What how do you know? Are you sure?
Because I
heard?
watched
Did you
Talking in
voice verify?
Stations and he was on it last time. So
Oh,
again,
okay.
giving us sloppy Talking in Stations.
Did
Second.
he-
Not
My
all
bad, my bad.
stealing all of our content. Are you kidding
Because
me?
He's on
well,
every day.
because when
On
it
every day, how
happened,
can you
when it
scoop 'em?
happened, yeah, when it happened, there was no, and you know, anyways, whatever. I think this is one of those really cool kind of first evers in EVE Online, and the mere fact that it happened in 2019, right? Like, I don't think there was anybody prior to Wormholes coming in who had gone and done it just in known space, right? You know, so this you know, it's really kind of freaking cool. And you know, when I saw my first knowledge that this had taken place was a tweet, and I didn't, like, you know, look back, and I'm like, did you finally hit every system? And the answer was yes. And I'm just like, wow, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, because look, anybody can jump gates and all that kind of shit. And granted, there was definitely assistance, you know, out there in terms of, you know, jumping all the wormholes and all that kind of shit. But that really is amazing. And one of the things that came up, well, two of the things that came up was number one, kind of a monument to it. I actually believe that a fucking monument should happen for that. The first explorer to hit all EVE Online systems, at least the first explorer that we're aware of. So, like, who knows? It might be like, you know,
it should be some kind of an award.
she might be like, you know, Christopher fucking Columbus or whatever.
Christopher Columbus didn't.
But, you know, but
the
that being-
Magellan Award. I think Magellan went farther than Columbus.
Well, you know what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, you know, for all we know, somebody else may have done it, but, like, you know, I don't know, you know, just didn't publicize it, didn't track the history the same way, you know, whatever. You know, and then the other thing, which I thought was really freaking cool that Falcon is, I guess, you know, putting together, is being able to go to some systems that we can't even get to, just to actually kind of, like, you know, put the cherry on top
they put
of
him
that.
in Joe space.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
it'd be great to
Yeah.
dump the guy in
Yeah,
Joe
that's
space
cool.
and let him run around.
The thing
Which
is,
So you
is
can say hit everything.
interesting.
for those who
Whoever.
are unaware, Jove Space
Decadia.
does not have gates.
I was wondering.
There's no gates in Jove space, really?
Mm-mm. There's no gates, so they would.
'Cause
have to
other than the
teleport
devs, the only
him to
people
This
who
would
go
be
out
the
every
only way you ever get to Jove space, by the way.
Well, yeah, because
You
other
must
than
go through every
other
every
than-
other
I
system,
bet the
and then you just get
Triglavians have been
teleported.
there.
yeah, other than the
Or
devs,
Jo- or
the only
Joe
people that go there is the
Wormhole.
Alliance tournament, but they're not allowed to leave the wherever they warp in from, and then the arena, so
There
they
was-
can't
there
go
was-
off to where any gates would even be.
I had heard that there was a team that attempted to warp around because CCP, I think, forgot to teleport them back. This was before,
A warp around.
like my
A
time.
warp around.
Yeah, they were warping around, and then they got banned from the game for potentially attempting to do any sort of exploits within Jove space. So they got in pretty big trouble for that.
Cap up, and
But yeah,
drop
yeah.
down.
There's no gates.
See,
I
it's Joe
swear-
Space is where I thought they always tested shit
That's where all the devs
on
hang
TQ.
out.
Or I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, they
You guys
test stuff?
posted a Reddit link?
It was an image from Reddit. It's like a
No,
Reddit
no,
blah
it's
blah
a-
blah
it's a
dot JPEG.
Minxie posted.
No, I'm
it.
talking about the kid.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that
you
Falcon
couldn't find
meme.
the actual story that actually links to.
I
the-
found his blog.
the blog.
His blog is linked
Why
in the
did you
Reddit
link his
post.
blog?
It's a post
Why
by
did you just
Minxie.
link the blog?
Link to
Minxie
blog.
posted it. The
blog.
fucking leader of Single
wrong
Cartel.
with
The
that?
guy's fucking boss.
You're
Who
too
gives a
busy
shit? It's a
eating
Reddit post.
chips.
Well, because the Reddit post
Stop
is
eating,
actually
Albie,
kind of freaking
focus.
horseshit. Oh, there it is. Okay. And then the actual blog itself, though, has a lot more stuff that I think.
Oh. Avalon, welcome to the Iron In crowd. You're a goon now. Are goons allowed to work for
have
CCP?
that.
Well, it's part of. He's now part
Oh
of the TSM.
no! Avalon's gonna get fired.
Yeah.
Exploits.
He needed to have that.
Bias.
But anyways, yeah.
Jesus.
I thought this was
Okay,
like
Jay.
super freaking cool. Like I'm not into the lore. I'm not into like, even like travel and shit like that. Although I found this to be really fucking interesting. And it's like, sometimes you need kind of like, I don't even want to say simple, but like the idea of traveling to all systems and things like that, right? Like it's kind of a simple idea until you actually think about, what it takes to get to these places. And
even
You
without
started
the
this
wormholes,
before,
like that would be. I mean, you could do it. I mean, yeah, even if you
what
went
was
like
the
a
number? Does anybody remember the number from, is it 7805 or something like that, total systems?
No, I don't recall.
It
I
was
think
over
it's
78
7,000.
7,000.
I think that's right.
Yeah, I think
But
that was
he-
the number
That
I tried to
includes
like commit to
wormholes?
mind today.
That
Yeah, but-
includes all the wormholes.
but I'm just saying, like,
that's the thing.
even
The
in
thing
case
that I
space.
find the most amazing is the fact that he hit
7805.
every
Look
single
at that. I
wormhole.
have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fucking
that's-
memory.
So
I got-
Katia
that's
used
what's
Signal
crazy.
Cartel. Like, yeah, so that's why like Minxie did the post.
Yeah, I
'cause
was
they,
saying like even just
they
case
Signal-
space is impressive because I mean like not super dangerous if you use a travel scepter or whatever, but like
Yeah,
I
but
mean
he
it's
started
still
this
it's
before
still a
travel scepters.
time consuming thing, and you have to make sure that you like making sure that you've hit every system and you didn't
Yeah.
miss one. That's
every
impressive.
region, every system,
Getting
every
all the wormholes,
constellation.
I don't
Every
even know
dead
how
end
you go
pocket,
about
whatever.
that because you'd have to find the right connect. Like you said, they had help, but
Spreadsheets.
fuck the
Yeah, he
wormholes.
probably did it. He probably did a spreadsheet where he just checks off.
There's way less wormhole systems than the known space systems, and I would not be surprised if that took longer.
I do want to throw this out there just because we're open comms and therefore we tend to like, question things, right? Whether or not this
That's
has
just
been
you, Dirk. You
whether or
question.
not this has been CCP confirmed that every system has been gotten to kind
Avalon
of a
on
thing,
comment.
or like what?
Well, I don't think Avalon.
Um,
I'm
in
joking.
that department.
He's here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. He has documented this with screenshots and all kinds of stuff. So
like screenshots
not
of every system, or
I mean, he's
Oh, man.
taking pictures of everything.
Just imagine
fact
that
that-
he's got
the
like
fact
half a
that
terabyte
CCP
taken up
promoting
with just
this-
images.
I'm not questioning. Well, I'm just saying it's like
The fact that CCP is promoting this makes me believe, at the very least, that they verified it. Otherwise, anybody would just say, "Yeah, I hit every system," and then they look and they're like, "Okay."
That would be
Obviously
amazing if he did take a screenshot of every system he was in, and then like did
Oh,
like a
look.
selfie thing and used the face app to like give himself a smile and a wave, like him like waving in front of a star in this system on
What
this
up,
gate.
bitches? I am-
Just
What's the activity tracker? Can they like because I know it's not retroactive.
Now, I've asked
can
them
they
to
do
do
that for
I've
them?
asked if they can do that. I don't know if they can. I'm waiting to hear back. But we asked them.
and James Crawl is saying yes, screenshot of every system. So okay, there we go. So I can't
Holy shit.
I can't
Right.
also
It's like I
latch
said.
onto this and say, but I did it too.
There you go.
So I've asked
drinking
them
invisible
to
juice.
look at giving him the activity tracker for every system. I don't know whether they can do that or not, or whether they will. But he's at least had one CSM person ask that. So
Why? See, why are you saying he? Just because you've heard a voice in real life?
because it sounds like a man.
I get that, but the character that did it though.
Well,
I
they
mean, is it like Caroline, where like
they
Caroline
started
was a
I-
before.
folklore?
look, I
travel
go by
scepters
the-
were a
I go
thing,
by the
so
person
it's not
playing the character,
An easy
not the
feat, as
character.
some people are saying.
No, it's not an easy feat, not at all.
But there was the Reddit chatter, of course, where people
Oh,
are like,
please.
"Oh no, what big deal? Just set your route and check your travel scepter." It's not that. If you listen to the guy's interview on Talking in Stations, and they talk about how he got the last wormhole systems, it was a huge player-run event by Signal Cartel to have people scan down all the systems that he hasn't been to, and then link him a connection to get in, so he can get in.
Was it Rage?
All right.
No, it wasn't Rage.
It should have been. Rage.
Should've
Well,
I could have got him in on that.
And again,
And speaking of that, if they give this guy his trophy before I get mine, I'm going to be very upset.
Wait, trophy.
what the fuck is your trophy for?
What's your
They
trophy?
promised us a trophy in Rage for where we blew up the Keepstar.
Oh, now we're promising CSM members fucking trophies.
No, this
oh,
was
Jesus
they made
fuck.
a thing up.
If this has
they
been
post
a
about this.
non-CSM freaking group that did it, there'd be no fucking trophy.
Oh,
it would just been
okay.
like,
There
it
we
would just
go.
been
There
like,
would
be
be.
remembered by the players.
Yes, there would be.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, it was already said, but that's another impressive part. Not just visiting all the systems, but not losing a ship either. Because
That is in fact impressive.
like that
because-
that's
because
just
back-
cherry on the top.
Because
But
back when I should stick to my own fucking like rules here. Because I'm always saying he, because pretty much 97% of the fucking time you'll just be right. But
I had to call Rain.
and I'm
Beam,
always
it's
good with
okay.
97%. So
she's got a male character, so shouldn't if we're
started
going by
this
Dirk's rules,
before
she should be a he.
I was
started this
actually
before
role
travel
playing yesterday
scepters
too, as my male character.
came into play. And then, of course, obviously, when you're dealing with, scanning holes
Say, "Hey, yo."
and dealing with all that kind of shit,
Got
it's
a
like,
penis.
People said Mr.
Different kind of
Chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm
Is that-
sorry,
is that the
Dirk,
guy
we
that
talked
lost-
all over
lost
you
that
today.
freighter?
Yeah.
doesn't fucking matter.
He still got it through.
Literally, you guys all rocked into this retarded before I did, so I'll catch you on the back end. I saw the show
about
notes.
right.
I know how retarded you were before I got here.
Well, hold on. Like, the funny thing is, like, I look at the show notes, I'm like, wait, who did set these up? And LB's like, I did. It's like, this looks nice. It's all, like, formatted and
I did it once a
everything.
week before, dude. What the fuck?
I thought it looked nice. But then again,
I just
I'm one of those
post
people
the
that
chat
is
so I
like,
get
how do I
it.
organize
I
this?
didn't know there was a
big
proper
font.
fucking format for the show notes.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
next
Yeah,
time
yeah.
I'll
Well,
know.
maybe we can do it like.
I don't do it in a
chronological,
professional
Are the
setting.
margins
instead of, like
okay?
everywhere.
Did I
Yeah.
fuck with the margins
No,
at all?
I do.
When you go into the,
The
show
header
notes,
footer all right?
when you go into the show notes, there's already like, I don't want to say a format, but there's already a font there, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm
Like-
honestly,
Like you didn't go in and
still
be like, shit,
flabbergasted
I'm just
by the
not sure
fact-
what font.
I
I'm still
copied
flabbergasted
and I
by the
pasted.
fact that the show actually
Yeah.
has show notes, that we're that, like,
You just think we ramble
Professional.
about shit?
To be
all the
fair-
time?
that
to be
we
fair-
write
Show
down
notes
things
before-
to talk
I
about
did
before
show
the
notes
show.
before
when
last
I
week-
came in, and
before
then
last
Dirk
week-
I'm just
adopted it.
impressed. I never expected that with this
So
show.
Well, it's a recap of
last
what we
week, I would just
skipped
get
and
shit
didn't talk
based
about.
and then open Eve 2.0 and just copy paste shit.
I mean, I'm one of those people that's
That's
like,
what I did.
if I need
typed in
to-
Eve dev blogs, copied and pasted all the headlines. There you go.
I use
Show notes.
big
There
ass
we go.
fonts for topic headings, and then
Fucking huge.
like smaller fonts, but still bigger than most people would use for the rest of the stuff. Because I like big fonts; it's a lot easier to read at a glance.
I gotta be
instead of-
honest,
big
I've
font
never
You
is
seen
like
you put
big
out
big
big
fonts.
fonts,
fonts.
then you
Cannot
cannot
lie.
lie.
I did it one time, Dirk. You weren't like,
Did
Those
you
other
almost
fans
choke there?
fonts can't.
No, no,
Was
no.
that the one week that I was like completely?
no. There's
fired
been
for?
3 times you were not here, Dirk, that I did show notes.
Dirk, we were doing show
I
notes
did
and
'em.
you quit and came back, okay? That was
Yeah,
all me.
I've been doing
Wait,
show notes
I-
since before
hey.
you came back to the show.
So on the Friday that I was in the hospital, you guys did some fucking show
I
notes.
did
Well,
do 'em
this was
then?
back in like
Did you see all the
2016.
Reddit
Oh, I'm
I was
sorry.
doing show notes.
Way back. Yeah. Oh, that
Yeah.
that time.
You know what? I want to do
See,
show
Rain,
notes for next
see,
week.
Rain, why you
see what
hanging me
happens.
out now?
Back
Just
when you got really
calling you on the
rowdy.
bluff. You say we never do show notes. You could say we seldom do show notes, and I would say yes. But
Wing it, dude.
No, I think it's
I
more like
go
I
by
would
the
also
philosophy
follow
of wing it.
I would like to introduce you guys to something though in the show notes, which is when
we
you
should start
copy
a
and
drinking
paste-
game. Every time
which
someone
is-
says show
which is
notes,
when you
drink.
copy and
I like
paste
that
from
Commander Ace.
someplace
Oh,
else.
we'd be sick.
Clear formatting. Clear formatting is your friend.
Whoa.
Look at this fucking
Whoa.
guy.
Can you fix the spacing
Oh
too?
God!
Like anything above single space.
Once I go in
fuck.
here and just fucking lock people the fuck out, which really wouldn't matter.
Your
from
own
week to
fucking
week,
I
show
should
because
have
you're
shown
responsible
notes.
for show
Please
notes.
do it, Dirk.
And
At
then
least then
big
we'd have an
bold letters,
excuse.
It's mocking Dirk.
Anyways, what else we got?
Nothing. Fuck you, man.
The best
Fuck,
part
oh,
is
the
we're
font's too
all
small.
goofing off with the show notes. Nobody else can see what we're doing. And they have
I know,
no
yeah,
idea
it's
what's
like, I
going
should
on.
just,
We're
like,
laughing at it 'cause
live
it's funny.
broadcast
For
the
the longest
show
time,
notes.
The show notes title has been Dirk is gay or something like that, and now we're bolding it, highlighting it, italicizing.
Yeah.
We
find
don't
that
know
kind
who
of
is
stuff
who
funny.
because
We
but
should
I'm-
just-
anonymous
I've
name.
let it be there. Just
We
to
should
let
just
you know.
post
Dirk a dick.
we should post the show
Just play
notes
along.
link in the Twitch chat, and then
No,
everyone else can
no.
see
But
what we're doing.
everybody adds to it.
No.
Oh man. Everybody can edit.
Yeah, well, yeah, I
If the
mean,
team speak trainer, we're gonna get.
but everyone,
As
yeah.
a team speak, we're gonna like hack. Dirk have a dick.
What?
Does Dirk have a dick? Dirk have
that
a
the next
dick
topic?
plus Tito's.
Anyways,
That's all the show notes say.
This is the worst
Uh,
show ever.
but do we link
Dirk
this?
have a big
Oh,
pussy
you
nose.
did.
Did you link it?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Oh no! Now we have to use a whole new page because everyone can edit. No, that
I
was
got it,
bad.
I cut it. I cut
That was
it off.
bad, Brisk. That was bad.
Brisk, purge yourself.
Never.
Oh, I was joking when I said that because there's no blocks on editing with this.
Oh, now we have
wait,
no
wait,
show
who-
notes
who's
at
the
all.
leader? Who's? Oh my God, 27 people.
Oh no.
Oh no! Look at the Twitch chat now.
Zord chains! This is the
Oh no!
We got Zord chains in. Oh my god.
For
Shots.
her.
Rip the Become show notes page. It's gone forever. Shots. I'm doing a
Anonymous
shot.
neon cat.
The worst part is that I have no idea how to get back to that other than I type open and it pulls it up in my thing.
God. I think
Wait, who's the
I think
original author of
Google's
these?
memory on this page is gonna get used up real quick.
Just delete the bookmark and walk away.
It's
That's all you can do.
that's what's gonna happen with this. We need a whole new page.
Who is the original author?
Dirk.
Risk, you're in timeout,
Dirk,
bro.
Dirk, unshare it, unshare it, Dirk.
It's the damage is done. Look at this
Damage
thing.
is done.
This is funny.
Just let people have it.
Interactive
Enjoy.
with our audience.
Dirk's trying to
Enjoy
figure
it,
out if he
Laura.
wants to fucking fly over and strangle you.
I love the look on Dirk's face right
I
now.
know.
This page has been like
It's so silent and scary right now.
this page is like sentimental. It's been around forever.
I'm trying to pull up version history and recover.
I cut all of the old stuff, so I have it in my paste.
Yeah, we got it.
Oop, access has expired.
But your Britt still thinks he's talking out there.
The page is dead.
Access did not request access.
The page is dead.
Denied.
I've killed complete access to it.
Oh, but okay, so you're keeping the page, you're just gonna limit it now?
You know what, dude?
I'm not getting access, I can guarantee.
Yeah.
Hold up, let me pull up a Word
So,
document. I'll read you guys what the show notes. Okay, so
It's a bunch of Zor, Rain. We don't need the show notes.
No, I have. So
Lord.
there's the Eve Pulse, and then we had World Invasion Tour Spring Update.
I think we covered everything except for the patch. I think the patch notes was the last main
Yeah. I mean,
thing
we
that
could
we
talk
needed a link
about-
for, which I have the page open so I can just link it from there. So
we could share Eve Pulse with the patch notes, and then we can kind of talk about what the
We
World
already did the
Invasion
Pulse,
Tour
though.
is gonna bring. No, we didn't.
we talked about the Pulse earlier, and I linked the Pulse video in the chat.
No, that was Katie's thing, or Katia's.
No, you guys said link the Pulse. I linked the Pulse YouTube in the chat, and then we were talking
Oh,
about.
shit.
Is
Okay.
Falcon still up on screen for?
Oh yeah,
I don't
no,
know why he's still staring at me.
Oh,
I feel like I'm in trouble.
he's. I mean, like, he's into the soul.
right,
But
yeah.
we.
Falcon's
I mean,
like,
we
it
didn't
is
talk.
alright to
We didn't
me.
talk a lot about the Pulse because most of the Pulse is about the patch notes, which
The
we're going to
patch
cover in a little bit. So, the Pulse is kind of redundant if we're covering the patch notes themselves.
Yeah, patch
Are,
notes
are,
gonna
are
be
we going
interesting.
into this now? Are we starting this now?
By the way,
It's a good time. We got an hour and 15
I'm gonna
left.
go
That's
in and
probably.
I'm
I
gonna
mean-
find out who actually made the delete command, and then I'm going to permanently ban them from my end. So,
What?
Oh,
because whoever just did the fucking delete command, it's like, yeah, that was kind of fucking dickish. But like,
Wait,
you
the
know,
delete
I
command.
expect nothing less. When the entire fucking set of show notes like disappeared.
That was me. I cut
That
it.
was Rain pulled it
I
up.
have
Oh,
it
you
all.
cut it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't worry. I
Oh,
have
now-
it.
She's
have you-
saved.
Are you ready to paste it? Well,
You
never
got to
mind.
give her
We're good.
access back.
Yeah, I
I
can.
can't.
No,
I
no.
can't right now because I'd have to go in and create a new fucking document.
Yeah,
and, like, share it
'cause-
only with fucking non-imbeciles.
Whoa! Shots fired. Missiles loaded.
There. That's the patch notes in.
Anyways, there were only two other fucking things to worry about. So I'm sure that you've got them open on your screen. Link the next one up.
Yeah. Nope. They're in Discord right now. I
Are we,
just
are we
linked them
going
to
into
you
patch
guys.
notes?
I think there was one other thing before we got.
was
to
that the
That
monthly
was the
economic?
Invasion, where they announced
Oh.
the schedule for the invasion tour.
Oh yeah, well I mean like Eve Amsterdam's really
I think we
close.
knew that though.
Was there any? Yes, they announced the fucking dates.
No,
Yes,
I
we
mean,
knew that Eve Amsterdam was coming. Amsterdam, whatever. Was there anything in there in terms of the schedule, which I know that they actually put out, like which they didn't do?
so
a
they have
different-
opening ceremony, keynote, dev team variety hour, and so that's where they're discussing the features, improvements coming to Eve.
Do you have
and
a
that-
link for that schedule? I can give you permissions to post it in the chat.
Discord? It's on Discord. The most recent post by me. At the bottom. At the
That's
very
actually funny, Hyper. I clicked on that.
bottom. But so they talk about that. There's looks like some guest speakers. It looks like they're gonna have a lot of fun. I think they do like an AMA with CCP, which I think they said this is probably a really bad idea. And then so it looks like based on the schedules, like this looks like what's being live streamed. And then it seems like they're gonna have the final for the tournament actually being live streamed at 3:30 on Sunday, which I believe is the 24th. Yes, this is actually next weekend for those who aren't aware.
Wow, they got a new sponsor.
Corsair.
The guard's last
Mm-hmm.
thing, right? So
When
this
is
is
Guard's
Guard.
last day at CCP? Is it at the end of Eve Amsterdam?
He hasn't said it yet, but we expect it's going to be after.
He said, yeah. I think he said he's gonna be at other events, just not obviously as a CCP.
He didn't
employee.
actually say that in the Pulse video. I think it was it the Pulse video, or did Falcon actually mention that out there at some place? Something about, but you may see Guard at other things, which I would have to assume.
I thought it was all
band
like
related. Or...
Yeah, he didn't confirm it, but in his farewell post, he said that he'll be at Eve Amsterdam as an employee. But then he said like, and I hope to see you at other events and meets, but as a player or something. So he didn't mention which ones or if he was definitely going, but I'm assuming that he will go to a handful of them. I mean, like Hunter went to Vegas last year. I don't know if CCP brought him there to do Permaband, or if he came on his own because he wanted to do the Permaband thing. So I don't know what the thing was with that, but it might be a similar thing with Guard, where he just goes to several EVE events on his own. Oh man,
that'd be interesting.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like the picture with Bam on there though. I was seeing like tweet, is Bam gonna get back into EVE? He was talking about possibly. I think he's going to EVE Down Under, and then he made. I remember him. Yeah, Bam Stroker. I remember him making a specific mention of like, we'll see if I log in between now and then. So I think he is going to EVE Down Under, and I'm like, I would love to see Bam back in the game because, like, that guy's awesome. Maybe he'll bring Eve Bet back. And
not that I'm laughing because nobody had anything else other than say other than
it wasn't even like a yeah.
It was just sort of funny because.
Well, I'm curious how that works with if Rise comes back and plays the game. He still has probably in-depth knowledge and everything, a lot of things.
Wait, Rise?
Sudakan.
You mean Guard?
You should go with Jameson because of like. Jameson's Irish, right?
Dude,
Irish,
actually,
yeah,
all
it's
of
an
them
Irish
are
whiskey.
actually really good. Tito's, Kraken, and Jameson are really fucking
Yeah, but if you've got to switch to either Kraken or Jameson, then it's.
I mean,
unless
Kraken's good.
Unless you're trying to save it for Sunday, and then obviously you go with the
Kraken's
Kraken.
good, but Kraken's not an Irish. Where is it? Where is Kraken made?
It's
a
rum.
rum.
It's
I
rum.
know it's a
But you
rum.
should be
but-
wanting to save it for Sunday because you should be like, but I can go out tomorrow and buy Bushmills or.
And Sunday. Of
Yeah,
course.
like, I like
Red
Kraken.
Bull.
Kraken's a really good rum. I've had it a bunch, but I don't know where it's made.
It's a rum.
It's a
That's a fucking rum.
Where is it made?
Here's
It's
where
a
rum is
rum.
made. In the Caribbean.
It might be a
Sailor Jerry
Caribbean
used
rum.
to be a cheap drink, too.
It's made in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh,
There we go.
So,
In the
Caribbean rum.
Caribbean.
So
is it
Trinidad,
Caribbean or Caribbean?
Is it?
It's either one
Either.
is
Is it?
fine. Rather
I know
one
it's one of those tomato things, but what's the actual real one?
I say Caribbean, but you
Carib-
can say Caribbean.
I say both. Like I actually interchange them a
It's the
lot.
Caribbean.
I say Caribbean. This one I'll say Caribbean.
I call it Pirate Land. Arr.
Yeah.
I think the reason I say
Ireland is
Caribbean is
also
because it like
Ethiopian.
sometimes my mind goes like
Is
Caribbean.
it Setubin or is it Setubin?
Oh,
It's
Dirk, I have to,
Leviosa, not
It's
Leviosa.
Sudabin.
Dirk, I have to report, I did fail when I was in Austin. I didn't make it to Pito's factory.
Oh, you didn't? Oh
I
man,
didn't.
You know what? I totally forgot about that. That would okay. That's okay.
Yeah, so apparently
Whatever,
they
you're
don't
just not
technically do tours, but you have to text some dude.
I think you
and
were. I think you were trying to like the only day you had available was a Sunday, which
Yeah.
yeah.
Apparently they don't let people out in distilleries outside of, but plus there was another brewery that we're looking at, a vodka one.
Did you tell them you knew their main buyer?
I know.
Do you
Dirk
ask them about
McGurk.
sponsors?
Yeah.
Did you tell
No.
them that you know a guy
He
that
apparently
buys
didn't ask them about anything.
We
He wasn't
need to
there.
send them.
Well,
like,
see,
I'm gonna
they
do
said
that. I'm gonna be
they'll
like,
do
hey,
tours, but I didn't get a response back from them until Tuesday, and I was already back in California. Not
By the way,
California.
Noisy, I just linked that out there, and yes, there are times in there about when the keynote's going to happen and all that kind. The keynote is apparently after lunch. Okay, well, but then again, this is Amsterdam, so we have to think about this in a different way, where they condense it down into shit. But on Saturday at I guess it's 1:30. I guess it's 1:30. No, it can't be 1:30 fucking Eve time, so it's got to be local.
1700.
Yeah. So
Cheap pity.
well, I mean, like
But-
Amsterdam's only like a +1 to
I think
UTC?
they're +1.
They're either a
Yeah.
+1 or a +0. I mean, like, I think they're a +1.
I don't think they're I don't think they're UTC, but
I don't think so.
anyways, that's when the keynote's happening. Blah blah blah. Registration 10 a.m. 11:30 a.m. is opening ceremony. Holy shit, man! Y'all better get through freaking registration.
Damn.
Yeah.
The Eve
Getting early.
Dev Team Variety Hour.
Oh, that's.
Oh, is that gonna be like the
Right
game
after-
show
right
shit
after-
they had?
right after
That sounds
the keynote.
cringy as fuck.
Well, hold on. What was the game show shit they had at FanFest?
Ugh.
Is it gonna be like the same thing as that?
CCP games.
No, it's not gonna be that. It's not
I
gonna be
hope
that.
not.
I
hope
actually-
never do that
Join
again.
join CCP
I know a
Fonzie
lot
for
of-
a presentation discussing some of the features and improvements coming
I already
soon to
talked
Eve
about that.
Online. I know. Hold on. The Variety Hour. I was expecting there to
talked
be.
about
I was expecting there to be something said in here that sounded like a fucking Dev Team Variety Hour. Never mind. The title sounded more fun than.
It was actually came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I was expecting. Sorry.
He was waiting for some stupid like something to laugh at there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just wondering because
Literally, when I said when I said the title, all these guys jumped to CCP games.
just Variety Hour sounds like a game show thing. Like it's the Variety
it
Hour.
does.
Yeah.
I think they're discussing a variety of topics, which is why it's
That
called
may
Variety
very well
Hour.
be, but that's not how it reads.
Uh,
That's not how it reads.
I
to
thought it was
people.
gonna be like people doing like what is it? They were running around in a cardboard spaceship last time, or
well,
what
they
was
did
that?
all kinds of. They did like
Crazy.
pie throwing stuff. They did like
Like why?
bodysuit running up on an oil slicked like ice cream platform, whatever the fuck it was. But I a lot of people thought it was dumb.
Oh,
I
shit.
thought it was kind of
Look at
actually
that.
funny and entertaining.
Day two. The
What?
first thing really starts at 11:30 in the morning. Gaming addiction management and prevention. Jeff's personal
Oh,
jury.
Jesus.
Jeff's personal story.
Raiden
on
Harmon, thanks for the
unhealthy
3
gaming
months.
habits, how to spot it, and how to stop it from getting out of hand. I
That
really think
could be
that
colorful.
is like something that you shouldn't talk about at a fucking
Yeah,
online.
yeah.
convention.
Sorry, Raiden. Like this is the one thing where like it really fucks you if you don't have daylight savings. 'Cause we start
yeah.
we start an hour
Screw that.
earlier
I
for.
didn't even have to mention that to you guys this week. You just fucking know when it turns 9 o'clock. on
Well,
your fucking
daylight savings
clock,
was
you
last
stay home
week
or
though,
whatever.
so I mean like it was already in effect from last week.
No,
Or
it was
it was the
no,
Sunday
it was in
after.
effect- It was in
Sunday.
effect.
It was
Yeah.
the Saturday
night,
after.
Sunday.
Yeah. Our bad. We probably should have tweeted something like that out.
Although
but
I didn't even know last
I
Friday.
just
night.
thought about it
I
now.
was out at the bar fucking Saturday night. And
Yeah.
I'm going, oh shit, are you guys open an extra hour? They're
Yeah,
like, "No."
if,
I'm
if
like,
you're in the
"Fuckers."
U.S., with the exception of Arizona, if you're in Arizona, you get fucked because you don't follow daylight savings. But everywhere else in the U.S., you don't have to change your times. Everywhere else in the world, we are now 100 UTC, not 200.
The good news for Raiden
Boo.
is he didn't miss anything.
Not really.
Yeah, not really.
You must
We haven't actually talked about anything of substance yet, like
We
fucking
deleted all our
patch
show
notes,
notes.
Like the show notes.
like the patch notes.
Heck, patch notes. We only care about show notes.
What else we got
Hey,
here?
Raiden did miss all the fun with the show notes, so I feel bad for him. He didn't get.
He did miss
yeah,
that.
he didn't get a chance to fuck with it. Sorry, Raiden.
Yeah,
The
it's-
friendship.
the moment's
Oh,
passed.
okay. So that night, the friendship cruise, drinks, hundreds of capsuleers, a boat.
The big
So
red boat.
Apparently, they're taking a fucking canoe down the Amsterdam canals or whatever they have there.
Why?
I
That
don't
would
know
be
what
cool.
Amsterdam
That's-
is known for.
That's their thing, man. Although it's,
Oh,
it's on
oh,
Sunday
Raiden
night.
just
Get some
rubbed it in.
Mullengrats in there. I
Next
can't
could
pronounce
be
it.
what a
Although it's
slowed
on
down red
Sunday
light
night,
district.
so
I guess
Join
we
the
don't
dev.
have to talk about the patch notes because TIS covered that Thursday.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
actually, wasn't Dirk on the show?
He was.
These
Well,
days?
at
You
one
fucking
once
traitor,
Dirk, were you
dude.
cheating
What-
on us?
once he
You made us
Wow.
wait for you. and
Once he
you
That was
finally
a
connected.
Dirk.
Once he finally connected, he was
That
there.
was
The
not
funny was like
retired Dirk.
it's because like Matt, I was listening to it. I eventually got out of cell phone range, but
I had to actually think about that for a second because I'm sitting there going, no, they did some other bullshit thing Thursday night, but
well, it was funny because like Matterall was there and he was expecting you to be there and you guys were going to discuss it. And then like when you cut out, he was kind of like flustered a little bit. He was like, shit, I got no one to bounce shit off of.
Yeah.
No, that was
Whoa.
weird. That was weird because I jumped into the freaking channel and I see him talking. And I was on my mobile at the fucking time. And I see him freaking talking, and I finally had to like DM him and be like, "Dude, do you even freaking hear me?" And then he's like, "Oh shit, I forgot I was on push to talk." But like he was talking through the stream without push to talk, but for me to have heard. So he was like talking for a long while, but whatever. I just thought he wasn't there and going yet. But anyways, there was some early freaking, early talk about that in the morning show on Talking in Stations. At first, I thought it was the Thursday night kind of main event, which they didn't do. They did Gold Magnate guy. But yeah.
Well, I want to before
I was
we
sitting
get
on
into
my
this,
fucking sun
somebody else
porch.
can go through. I want to hear what you guys have to think about all the changes, because I've
We
been
told you
reading.
in DMs, Briz.
I know, but I want to hear you guys say it on the air, because I have been reading all the complaining on the Evo forums.
I don't know
It's
which
rotting
one.
my
As the
brain.
most,
Which
as
one
the
do you
most
wanna begin
involved
with, or do
Can
you
I
person
just
just
in
wanna
throw
the
my?
stream.
I have one thing.
Or do you
say,
just want to
and that's it.
begin with?
Go
I-
on.
I mean,
I'm annoyed.
Go through 'em if you want.
Did
I
we
just want- I
did
just
we
want
throw
one
them out
thing.
there? Did we throw them out there as kind of like
No, let Iron go. Post it in the link and let Iron
So,
go.
listen, all the changes or whatever is fine. I think Ferrex changes are unnecessary. I think the biggest thing with Ferrex is, or in Caldari in general, is Spike and Rails, and because Harpies are the main go-to for assault rigs, Ferrexes are the main go-to for battle cruisers. Eagles are seen to be the now main go-to for assault rigs. So what does that have all in common? Rails. So that's all I got.
Yeah,
And they-
but-
Sounds like
Look,
utility,
I
man.
hear. All right, now
But
here's what I will
lasers.
say for all the stuff that's not in there. It's just because it's not in there doesn't mean it's not going to get addressed, or they're not going to look at it potentially in the future.
No,
There's a
no,
ton of
I
stuff
get that.
we asked
But
for.
I'm just saying that like that's like the like right now Spike is OP, the range is OP, the DPS that comes out is OP. It beats any other ship that you can field to put up against it. With the range and the DPS.
I mean, that's one of the things we had talked about, at least, with the Ferox. I think the Ferox changes this time around are probably not enough.
Right.
If you guys look at the Ferox changes, they increased the mass, they slowed it down a little bit. But the biggest issue
They're all
for
tiny
Feroxes
tweaks.
is they're cheap, and they hit at long range, and they hit hard. And I was hoping that they would have at least reduced the range bonus, and that would I think would make them a
I
little
think
less
I
OP.
think if they
But
took
they
the
didn't do
range
that.
out of Spike a little bit, just a little bit, man, just enough to keep it even with Hurricanes and stuff. Already Hurricanes, I think it would have been fine. But I think
But I mean, McLeod's point is completely the point. The rails in general, I think, are okay. It's the fact that Ferox has a quadruple bonus, so it's hitting way farther than every other platform. So that's kind of the issue. I mean, the same thing with Munins being as long range as they are, but also being as fast as they are. I was hoping to see a little bit of a dial back on Munin speed, but I honestly the other thing I can see is maybe they don't want to touch Munins because that's the flavor of the month and everybody likes it.
They got to keep Black
don't know,
Legion in
man.
business.
I mean, I personally I like the beam changes. I think Zealots are definitely going to be.
Oh,
useful.
yeah.
I'm very
yeah.
because I
Yeah.
specifically
Oh,
brought
yeah.
out Zealots needed a buff.
No,
I'm happy
dude,
to
like
take it.
I'm down.
love
I can't
Zealots.
wait. I'm gonna buy like
Sniper Zealots are a thing
100
again.
Zealots
I
and
think
throw
a
them in
Zealot
horde.
is like my favorite ship, and I've rarely been able to fly them ever. It's probably
Well,
my
because they
favorite
bear
ship
ship
to
for
fly.
free.
pretty
well.
OP, dude. Like if you put the damage in now with the damage, and they're gonna have drones, it's gonna be
I
pretty
think it's
decent.
gonna
Well,
be
see,
good.
Hey,
That'll
Drayden, do
be
you
the
remember
new
that?
meta.
Do you remember
No,
that one
and then
time with
you-
Argus?
Armor tank. Well,
I
see,
couldn't
you're
fly
gonna-
Zealots.
armor's
That's
not
when I
gonna
was
be good.
training into them. And then when I finally got into them, we switched doctrines over to fucking
Yeah.
Geddons or something
So
like
yeah, but the problem is now they're using shield demoses, bro. So like,
Bruh.
that. Bro.
See, I don't know. I like the Zealots, but the damage restriction is gonna be tough. EM thermal, you just tank it for if you're gonna go against them.
yeah, but you can't. So
Nobody knows what you're
take
bringing.
I'll take Munins require you to be,
Yeah, nobody knows what you're bringing.
Munins require you to control your range, bro. I mean, Zealots on the Munins less than 50, Zealots win. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just also annoyed that if I decide to Titan Rat, now it's gonna be half the DPS. See, I think that's really, I'm just not happy about that.
What is Avalon talking about?
Yeah, hold on. Is
You guys
everyone
don't
aware?
know about this?
I'm
This is the
apparently.
greatest thing
I
ever.
apparently
What
don't
is
know
it?
about it. Is everyone aware of the account
If you go-
description
if you
option on
guys-
the
all
launcher?
right, if you go on the launcher and you click on the little ratchet at the bottom left, under general settings, if I can find it where the hell it is,
Launch groups, launcher language, general settings.
there's I can't remember where it is.
I got like
Where
a
the hell is it?
settings button. on the
Avalon.
bottom.
Avalon, Avalon, where is it, dude? You gotta fill us in, bro.
Yeah, like I got like a launcher settings
I
cog
did
on the bottom.
Oh,
That's
wait,
amazing.
describe your
Account description
account.
type.
When text is presented in this field, appear
Right,
next
right,
to your
exactly.
on the
All right,
list.
so next, it's
Oh.
not the cog at the bottom. The cog next to your name.
Describe your
You
account.
can write. It says describe your account. You can put little things in there to say what it is, so you know which
Pandemic
account is.
horde
So the
alt.
It's
three
the
character
greatest
names.
thing
So
in
if you
history of
have
Earth.
some obscure login kind of thing, right? Instead of it being that obscure login thing, you can be like, Dirk's account.
You guys
Yeah,
don't
or-
label
or,
AWOC
yeah, you could be
account
like-
one,
Well,
AWOC
you can
account
you
two.
can list the 3 accounts on that.
Yeah,
on the
that's-
3 characters
that-
on
that's-
that too.
that's-
Which
the-
I highly encourage you to list it as Dirk's account. But
Yeah.
whatever.
The thing is, for me, what drives me crazy is I have all my accounts labeled like the main account name, and then A and B and C, and then I have other random ones, and I can never remember which ones did which, and now I have them all listed so I can just look and I
like
never
this.
get it wrong.
I like
again.
this. Thanks,
I,
Avalon.
best thing
I didn't even
ever.
know
Thank
about
you,
this.
CC.
Yeah, that's
Avalon.
nice. Look at them
Avalon's the
sneaky.
man.
To Avalon.
Look at those
Hey,
sneaky.
Avalon.
Shot for Avalon, man. Yeah.
Avalon, can I throw this out there if you want to get yourself involved in a loop? If you want to get yourself involved in a little things kind of thing, which apparently earns you max karma, if you can actually put out on the launcher which one of your accounts is not training at the moment.
Oh.
Now, all right, now, look, we
Oh.
have asked for a whole ton of stuff.
Avalon.
be
There you
added
go,
to the
buddy.
list.
You will be
Problem
king.
That's a
is-
neat one though.
Shout to,
I-
shout to CCP Avalon Carker.
They don't want to. They don't want to shit up stuff too much on the launcher and provide too much.
How
Stuff.
about just making it
Like-
red or green,
like all the ads?
or something like that? Like you don't have to shit it up. Like maybe change the color.
We've asked for like just how much longer your Omega is remaining and stuff like that. It's just hard to put that on the launcher.
How about
See,
instead of
an Avalon saying
two,
tall
three
order
plex
Dirk
things?
because the launcher is not actually connected to like game information. What
Yeah,
up,
it
me,
would-
Harry, you Twitter banned motherfucker.
Yeah, I could see that because it would require them like having your account accessed. Well, that's the other thing is maybe
Like
if
your
you have
account
like
information and stuff like that doesn't.
right,
actually
maybe if you
feed
have
through
it set
and-
to where like it remembers your password and stuff. Because if you're not logged in, I'm pretty sure they don't want to show active information like that.
You could save the account. You could pin the account, right?
Well, that's what I'm
So
saying.
why
Like,
can't-
if you have if you have the account already logged in and have it saved, where you just have to push play and it opens
So
it, then maybe. But I mean, maybe. But I mean, with the SSO stuff, I bet that's something that could be accessed. Like maybe they could have a tool that accesses that part
Make
of the
it
SSO.
so, CCP Avalon.
Do you want?
No, but
do you
that-
want?
I just sort of thought about that, but-
CCP dev ever, bro.
Look,
There we go.
look, all this stuff we've asked for. So, and Avalon is great. If he can do it, he does it.
Yeah, Avalon. do you
So,
ever want to get to
I mean-
Vegas again? Without having to pay for it yourself. Do you ever want us to do a freaking get
No.
Avalon to Vegas again?
Well,
There we go.
what about Toronto though? Like, are we
Find a
gonna
way
are we
to,
gonna
like-
get Avalon to
actually,
Toronto?
Actually, I would really much rather have him come to Toronto this year.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna be in
The
Vegas.
Vegas-
I want to hang out with Avalon again. I always like hanging out with Avalon.
Dirk, I didn't tell you. I'm gonna
Oh,
come
yeah?
pick you up. You're gonna drive. You're gonna drive Toronto with me.
What?
Dude, I'm driving to Toronto anyways. Like,
Yeah, but no. We're gonna get there a lot faster.
Yeah, but no.
Yep.
Somebody's getting
I've got too many
Someone's
people
gonna
for
get
your
the fu-
fucking
I'm gonna get the
Mustang or
fucking
whatever it
car,
is you
dude.
think you're rolling in.
I'm getting a GT350. We'll get there really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just have my daughter drive, my wife up or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
By the way, you guys know Kate doesn't drive, right? Because, she's, yeah.
What?
No,
Well, we can
I'm
put, we
just-
can
I'm
put, we
just
can
totally
put him in the
fucking
back,
joking.
dude.
Oh,
we can
I
put him
was
in the
like,
back.
what?
Such a liar.
So we
I
can
really-
put
I
them
wanna-
in the
I wanna
back,
race
and I'll
you
just-
in
I'll
your,
fly
in
my
your
wife in.
GT350,
She can
by
just
the way.
take the plane.
DB12.
Oh, man.
Well, if we got a
I like
race,
the
man, I'll
DB11,
race you.
You want? What do you got?
but
I got a
How-
Camaro 2SS.
Oh fuck you! I'll own you, dude.
oh, dude, I was just watching.
I don't know about that.
Sorry,
No.
sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't.
Fucking IROC
Of course you will.
Z28.
You're
What do you
an-
think
it's a
about
Shelby.
that?
Come on.
Chris?
I was just.
If I had a Z28, I would own him. But
I would-
You
I
would
was-
own- you would own me with a Z28.
No, I was watching the thing. It's this
I had a
channel.
Z28 with a fucking bump shift. Now what?
It's this channel, Harry's Garage. He does like car review stuff. He was at they had the Geneva car show, like the big like super car show thing. Apparently, Bugatti just came out with a new
Bucks
car that is the most
Bugatti.
With
expensive.
Bugatti.
T-tops. And I had T-tops.
It's the most expensive car ever in the world. It's like, I think it was like 16.8 million pounds. Well, it was like
That's a heavy
they
car.
listed in euros, but it equated out to like
Yeah.
$21 million without
this
tax.
is a fucking car show. What are we doing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
but-
I'm going through this thing right now where
We're
I'm,
at
just, I'm
10:06
trying to
and we have
decide between
literally
the
Yeah,
GTR
let's go back to the
and
show
Model
notes.
A,
Show
okay?
notes. Show notes. Sorry.
Let's go. Oh, there are no show notes.
There are no fucking show notes. But
Yeah,
while
we're rolling.
while we are on the
I
dev
killed
blog,
the
Well, I mean,
show
patch
notes.
notes. Patch
Get
notes is what I
Falcon's
meant.
face off the screen, damn
Oh,
it.
God
no,
damn
fuck
it.
you! You killed the show notes, dick.
Oh, it's
which is
Falcon.
which
we
is
gotta
the
do
meat
shots.
of the show
We
notes.
just
which
did. I'll do one with
which,
you. Ray. We'll do
which,
two.
by the way, let me just throw this fucking out there in case nobody
Better for
else
Leprechaun.
has like the fucking mega block. Oh no, that wasn't it. Don't click on that, bitches. Don't click. That's just
Wow.
porn.
Show notes.
Bait and click.
Do you want me to post the actual ones?
There we go. The EVE Online one. The second
Alright.
EVE Online one.
Oh, you got
Anyways,
it,
okay, look. We are way down in the fucking subsection on after all the really cool shit that got talked about. There's a bunch of single line item type things.
We're
right?
talking about the subcap
Well,
stuff.
Right, exactly.
Are we talking about the fax things yet? The fax.
No,
thing?
no, we haven't talked about that because somebody fucking jumped to, oh my god, zealots like are getting
Yeah,
No,
medium
no, I
beam
didn't-
Well,
lasers.
you
I
can't
will
hate
talk
on the
about
I
show.
asked you guys to tell me what you thought about
You
the
want to know what
changes.
I
What he
think,
said,
Briz?
and I
Exactly.
what I
And
think?
can we please
I wanna
please
know
for my
what
own
Rain
fucking
thinks.
sanity? Can we
So,
please for
I
my own
was-
fucking sanity, not just fucking bounce around like that other retardo night?
Yeah.
I was really
Like every
nervous
Wasn't here the
actually
other retardo night, dick.
about the fax changes
Yeah, make up.
because I know they talked about what was it, diminishing returns on Logi reps. So I
Right.
was like, oh no, they're gonna fuck with like cruiser Logi, frigate Logi, shit, even battleship Logi, whatever. And then I was reading it, and it actually sounded pretty reasonable. So I know they talked about particularly how an issue with some of these big battles is you just spam faxes, and that is the quote-unquote solution to winning a big fight. Is the more faxes you spam, shit doesn't die, and then you win. And so they talked about diminishing returns. I think it was like after 45 or 50 faxes. So it really only affects
40,
large
50.
battles. Yeah,
Right.
it really only affects large battles where eventually the more faxes you add, so after 50, the more
Oh,
you
I
add,
actually
it
saved
doesn't
one of
really
the-
change much.
I actually saved one of the graphs.
So my,
here.
then-
my
And
Figuring
then
out
they
squads.
showed graphs about how, like, because then if you think like subcap fleets about like, subcaps, like you can have like, 5 cruiser Logi to like 30 cruiser Logi and have it be like a or a reasonable subcap fleet to fight. And about how it really takes like a shit ton of subcap Logi before it actually trails off. And so
Right.
I
mean,
really
the fact
appreciate
is,
that.
you're never going to hit. I mean, one of the
Yeah.
things we talked about specifically was making sure that whatever they did, that it didn't have an impact on subcaps,
so
and the same with the cap transfer, because that's also included in this.
Yeah. This is
You're never going to get that many cap transfers.
And by the
to
way,
have it
just
cause
in
a
case
problem.
anybody out there was unaware, okay, armor, shield, and cap. They're all fucking different scales. You
Correct, they're
don't
all
know what
separate.
they are. This right here is just a representation of
Reps.
how it fucking trails off.
Yeah.
So don't think that this is the same way, like, you're sitting there drawing a line up and going, oh, look, it's 67 fucking armor reps.
so
People
my
will
question
figure
is,
that out,
Total.
though.
It's total
They
They
will
will
amount.
figure it out, but
So
they're
I
not,
really
they're
like-
not handing it to you on a fucking plate.
as a
Yeah.
dedicated Logi pilot, I really appreciate these changes because I feel like it's not hurting subcap like fleet warfare. Because I mean, I don't know an instance where someone brings 300 subcap Logi and
Right.
like attempts to like keep something alive. But at the same time, it really affects like large scale fax warfare. A lot of people have pointed out it doesn't affect small scale fax warfare. So if you drop one fax to rep your battleship fleet or a couple fax to rep your battleship fleet, probably not going to see a difference.
I
So
did also.
I really like it for the large scale.
Yeah, I did.
C-Rock's point is valid. I want to just get this out there. When we're talking about 45 faxes, we're not talking about the
CSM.
individual ships. We're talking about
Number
the
of reps.
fact that
Reps.
the number of reppers and the incoming reps. And I think, if I recall correctly,
It's not even number. I should
like
say
12.
it's not
They're
even the
assuming
number
3
of
reps.
It's
per
equivalent of.
possible.
It's the equivalent of that many faxes repping at capacity with that many reppers because
Correct.
it's the
incoming reps
amount
depending
of
on
reps.
skills and all that kind of
Right,
stuff.
right.
It
So-
actually has to
Right.
do with down to the skill
How much
level
rep-
of the reps that are hitting you.
Right.
Yeah,
So
how much
so
you rep not.
so the amount of the reps that you have coming in is what is actually the scalability, which I really liked because I never would have thought of it, and then when I saw the thing in there, it does take away the whole thing with people gaming the system and like just throwing a bunch of small reps on you from the enemy fleet to
Which is quite
get like a
brilliant
stacking
idea.
penalty
Which was,
put up
I
on
mean,
you.
the fact
which
that
is
they
really,
caught
like,
that
good
ahead
thinking.
of time, because that was the first thing we were going to suggest would be an issue. Well, let's just throw some small reppers on there and then screw over your
Right.
reps.
So it's
But they
that
thought
was
that
that was
which
pretty
good.
pretty well thought out, I thought.
So, curious question, and somebody that's not a dedicated Logi pilot. How does it affect when you're dropping faxes on the subcaps fleets? like with battleships? Is it going to be affecting those at all, or no?
Probably not as
Unless
much.
you're hitting the same battleship with all the reppers, it should
Right.
Not be
So you gotta hit. You're not gonna drop 40.
Well, yeah, you usually drop what, like 3 or 4.
Well, so that brings up a question. So that I have, because it's the total amount that's repped. Are the amounts, like the repping amount levels, different for different types of ships? Like, are battleships going to reach that level where it starts dropping off faster than a capital would, or is it the same flat level for every ship?
See, that's,
I mean, the fact this is attuned based on fax reps, so anything smaller than that is obviously going to have a different impact.
It
it's
doesn't
based
have
on
to do with
sig
the.
What I'm saying is like
it has to do with the total number of reps.
Right. So what I'm saying is, like, if a fax comes in and starts repping a battleship, like that one fax could probably keep the battleship alive. But does the battleship have a lower amount to where it starts falling off faster?
No.
Than like a capital would?
It's nothing about the battle. It's all about the rep
Just
income.
okay. So the scale of ship has nothing to do with it at all. Like they don't have different.
I mean that's the thing. Like I was trying to figure out, is this ever going to be an issue where you have everybody repping the FC who's getting headshot? Is that going to be a problem?
I mean, I'm like,
I don't think it's going to be.
I don't think it would ever be an
gonna
issue. Like you're not going to bring in faxes to rep battleships. But I was just asking out of just pure sake of.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're not?
Absolutely.
But you're not going to bring 45 of them.
No,
you're not.
You're gonna bring 10.
But that's what I'm saying.
My question is, I guess Chris might have a little bit more insight on this. Is are they worried about, on these big fights when people do drop these big numbers, the server impacts of calculating all these reps and et cetera, if you know where I'm going.
I don't think it was as much about server stability as it was about the fact that in these big giant fights, it feels like you can never kill anything unless you've got mass DDs that you hit right. Otherwise, everything can. If you have enough faxes on grid, you can catch reps fast enough that a lot of this stuff lives. Somewhere
I think the two of you are in between each other, because in the dev blog it talks about the fact of diminishing returns on reps in the style that they are looking to do it in here was something that they couldn't do prior to Brain in the Box and the evolutions of Brain in the Box and things like that, right? The level of calculation that is going on here.
I'm talking about
so you have to ask yourself whether or not you think that this is going to add a certain number of calculations that's going to fuck them up on their end. And
that's a good question. By the fact that they put it in,
it's not, or they think it's not.
Well, I'm just saying.
I assume they think it's not, but we have to wait and see, because we haven't had a big fight in
they're
6
moving
months.
things off the server and doing their own thing. I'm just thinking, like, if they're going to add something like this in, is it going to impact the server performance? Because there's when you drop 150 faxes, now it's going to have to do that. Well, both sides, because both sides are going to drop 150 faxes at least, right?
But here's my guess: is this probably going to have something to do with coincide with the 64-bit release? Because it's talking about spring, isn't that roughly the same?
But that's
time?
client side, not server side.
Hopefully, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
They haven't
For some
given us
reason,
a
I
date
thought it
on
was
the
farther
64
ahead.
bit yet.
Okay,
They haven't
well,
given
that's
us a date
fine.
on 64 bit, but this stuff is going to hit in April. I mean, this is scheduled for the April release.
All right, I'm gonna clear this graph off. But real quick, just want you guys to notice this nice, tight parabolic curves. Like the curves are nice on this.
And I like
that tight asymptote
with
line
the
going
diminishing
right
returns
around
thing.
the 5,000 mark, 50,000 mark.
So
I still think they need to nerf the AHP on the faxes, but that's something for down the road.
Here's my favorite change on this: increasing the volume of the excavator drones.
Stop
Yes.
it!
No.
Stop it! Stop it!
Oh, here we go. Oh no,
Dirk's freaking out because we're not going in
No.
order.
Hold on.
Oh, we got to go in order.
I don't give a shit if we actually go in order, but can you please keep it to the same fucking
We
subject?
just
It
finished
is.
talking about the faxes. We were done
Did
with
we
faxes.
actually?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. Was there a fucking call that happened?
I didn't. I missed
Was there
that we
anything
have
else to say?
What do you
Did
want
you
us
have
to
something you
say?
wanted
Well,
to
hold
say?
on.
Did you want to add on to that subject?
Yeah, what do you want to say, Dirk?
Yeah, I think that there is a fucking conversation to be had
Okay,
about
what?
whether or not you think that this is going to matter about the number of faxes
Yes,
that people dump on the
absolutely.
field, and whether
They're
or
gonna
not
bring
you
more.
think. And
But
whether or
still
not
gonna
you
die.
think that
That's
this is
what's gonna
part
change.
of the fucking Malcanis's law of it doesn't fucking matter for the people that can do it in force. It will matter more for some other people out there. And
I think
also,
it's gonna
also
change
what
the
do you
jug meta.
think? And also, what do you think about the mindset of FCs who are sitting there and saying, "Well, wait a second, am I going to dump this level of fucking assets
okay,
on the field
Well,
Well,
like there's
wait,
more to
wait,
talk
wait,
about than
wait,
whether or
wait.
not
Hold
you
on.
think
Because
that a
when people
fucking
nerf
graph
things-
matters.
When
I don't
people
care about
nerf things, generally what happens is people are like, well, I'll just bring more. So if you cut like a Titan's
No,
damage in
I-
half, people are like,
this
well, I'll
is
just bring
different.
more Titans. No,
But
no,
that's
that's
the entire
that's generally
that's the entire
what
point
happens.
of
So with
why
the
they
diminishing
did this.
returns, what happens is the more you bring, it doesn't matter. It
Correct.
barely incrementally
Right.
goes up, and that is why they did it
Well,
this
right,
way
but-
instead of okay, we're gonna
So-
cut fax reps in half, or we're
mean,
just
this
gonna
is
cut how much
specifically
they rep on the
designed-
subcap.
This is
That is why
specifically
they
designed
changed it.
around getting around the N+1 issue, which is why I think it's an elegant solution, and I think it is going to matter in these big fights, and I think people are going to think about it. But the
So-
bottom line is, you're still going to bring as many faxes as you can.
No,
but
the
He's
fact
still
is
getting
you're
beat
gonna have
up
to-
on field.
So here's the
It's
thing.
gonna
This is what
require-
we've
it's gonna
been talking
require-
about this
It's
in
going
my
to require
court.
the Logi guys to pay more attention and
Exactly.
make sure that not everybody is just dumping all their Logi on the guy getting hit. They have to make sure that they're doing it properly. It's gonna
So
require a little more tactics.
we've been talking about this in the corp how we're going to do this on a cap level, and it's going to require you're going to breaking up your fax into squads, and so many faxes in the squad, and repping this person, repping that person. But I think like alpha Naglfars are going to be a thing again. I think that you're going to find that dudes are going to push Naglfars as a dread because alpha you can throw 30 of these on a target, and if you can field more than 4 or 5 squads of these, five targets are gonna get hit at a time. Faxes are it's gonna be a change for a lot of dudes, a lot of SCs.
So you're gonna so your particular group is going to try and manage this on a squad by squad basis of let's make sure that we don't over rep by too much because that's just wasted reps when really all of the damage is being poured onto that one thing that needs that many
Things are gonna
fucking
die.
reps.
Things are gonna die, dude. That's the thing.
It's
Like you
still
can
gonna be
only
tight
do so
volume.
much. You're
So,
keeping that
well,
alive
something,
as long as possible.
and not to pull it. I mean, I know that Talking Stations mentioned this, but it was something I think is kind of an important point. Whoever I forget you guys had on Dirk, but it was he was talking about how they're gonna start dual tanking shit.
I believe it was Villy and it was Villy.
It wasn't
and,
Villy that I'm thinking of.
Dual tanking's been around. It's been around.
Well,
for
that's what I'm saying.
Ragnarok
Like,
for a
so
long
you have
time.
dual tanking
Yeah,
because
well,
like the reps that fall off. Now,
Pando and
I've already my rag since I lost the last one has been dual tank.
Right.
Because
It's
it makes sense.
Ragnarok.
I know, but
for
you
the
could have
longest time
you
have
could
been
have the
told to
45 to
fit.
50 shield faxes and then 45 to 50 armor
No,
faxes.
I don't think it's gonna happen. No, I don't think it's gonna
And
happen.
so now you have this like benefit on both sides of the
But
of
that's
the,
the
of the
thing.
coin.
Unless we start seeing mixed armor shield capital fleets, which usually you don't see, it's rare to see that. It's either one
Because
or the
you got to
other.
remember that a lot of these super capitals, when they fit their rigs, that kind of
Correct.
souls
Killa
them
Bee,
their-
that's what it
their-
was.
their
That's what I'm
facts.
thinking of. Killa Bee.
and
So
Killa
Killa
and
Bee's
Villy,
opinion,
yeah,
that's
mainly
great. But
Villy.
my opinion is, when you set a rigs up right, and you can self-destruct these things whenever you want, I guess. But when you put Tech 2 rigs in for your super, that's that main tank for that
Right.
that super.
Like my rag has capital field extension, whatever the hell it is. So it's going to be basic. It's going to be shield based because it's a rag. But then I've also got all the armor stuff in too, so I can get my HP up to like 40 million HP with the Erebus links. So I mean I think everybody's going to start doing that. But the fact is, typically you pick one or the other, so that your faxes are all one or the other.
Well,
so that
Titans
you're
have the
not worried
opportunity
about it.
now because now that they're nerfing the Hog guns, you really don't need to fit for tracking because you can track a capital.
Well,
So
I mean,
you can
that's
dual
the
tank
thing.
easily. I mean,
That was
it's-
the other thing, and this is skipping around. So now that Dirk's got up, we can skip around a little bit.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the
What
Hog
the hell?
Titan
Like,
thing was
freaking
nerfed.
bit my head off.
But the problem that I have is that I think the other issue, the Titan Haws, I would rather have just gotten rid of them, but I'll take 50% nerf. The problem is they didn't touch tracking on long range guns, and that's a big deal. The long range guns track too well for the distance they can hit out to and how hard they can hit. And I think
but
they
it
needed to do
depends,
that
dude,
too.
because they have to have a sig. Like battleships, they do track well, but hacks they do not. So,
I think,
Well,
honestly, I think that was more for affecting the ratting because of Titan ratting, just the ish
No, I
generation
just-
from them.
I feel like
In
now
addition
that
to
dual
what's going
tanking is
on.
more of a thing because you don't have to fit tracking in hand, tracking theaters in your mids because you can hit, but the capitals already have the sig to hit, so you don't
Right.
need to improve that, right? So you can dual tank a lot easier now.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I think There was a little bit more that I was hoping that they would do in that regard that they didn't, but I'll take what they were able to give us. And the fact
Dude,
that
I think it's a
Montrez
good.
are still
I think it's
as
a good start, though. It's a good start
It
to
is.
push
It's a
towards
start,
the direction.
and we're getting some of the stuff that we've been asking for a while, which I was very pleased with.
And I think that's a key point, actually, Aaron. It's a start, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, is this going to be, is this just the one-hit solution for CCP that should have come years ago, this or that?" But I think the key is that CCP should implement this and then iterate on it, not just say, "Okay, so we put in some changes. Are they fine?" Or
they're
whatever.
realizing,
the
but they
plan.
said it in the devlog. I believe they said this. They realized how overbearing capitals can be on staff capitals and such. So they're trying to fix that, which is something we've been saying for I don't know how long.
Forever.
Yep.
So
Since the last buff.
and I've always believed that I'm from the earlier area. We used to see more dudes in fleet. I think when capitals became so OP, a lot of dudes dropped off because that wasn't their gameplay. So I'm hoping that this brings a lot of people back.
They're still going to get wrecked by all the other things about it. I mean, it's not going to stop capitals from being powerful.
No,
Right,
but
they're still very powerful regardless. It's not as oppressive as it was before. So hopefully we'll see. I mean, and honestly, a lot of this stuff we're going to have to test and see what it's like in the game, because hopefully it makes a difference. If it doesn't, then there's still, like Rain said, we'll need more iteration. But you want to talk about supers now? Because somebody in the chat.
You mean the
was
Great
asking about supers.
Massacre that's going to be coming?
One of the things that we specifically brought up as a way to deal with botting was the NSA warp scram thing, which I'm very happy that they did, because anything that gives us a chance to catch some of these guys when they're out there, I think is better. And then I think the fighter nerf as well. That was Suetonia's big push.
it's going to be good for botters, but
It's
like
gonna be
anybody else out there running an NSA is doing it cycle by cycle. So it's like
exactly. I mean, that's the thing. If you are not pulsing your NSA, you're doing it wrong.
right.
So everybody should already know that.
Well, I think I don't know if it was Jay Maziness that put it on Reddit. If people are going to just take off the NSAs and just switch to Serpentis. Was it Shadow Serpentis sensor boosters?
Serpentis sensor boosters. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean stuff like that.
But it's still half as fast. It's still not.
Yeah.
It's still not that fast.
But still, if
But
you're
still-
actually actively ratting, dude, you can cycle that fucking thing on and off, and you're fine.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I've still guessing that
Sorry,
we're going
so
to see
swear.
a huge amount of carriers and supers killed the first week, 2 weeks of this implementation. Why can't I warp? Oh, I'm dead.
Which is going to be great, and that's part of the
Because
reason
they don't
why
read?
I want it. Because they don't read, and hopefully
don't
the
watch the
botters
show,
will have.
obviously.
The botters are going to have to catch up. They will eventually, but at least in a
Yeah.
little while, it'll make it. It gives you a chance to catch these guys, which I think is one of the most frustrating things when you're out in a room and you. All right, I got a hell on scan, and he's gone.
They're
by the time you get
pre-aligned.
there.
What up, drunk
Yeah.
Canadian motherfucker?
Yep.
But
Drunk as
yeah,
here.
it created a new risk factor, right? That's all. I mean, that's really all it did was and we're not talking here about siege cycles or industrial core kind of cycles or anything like that, right? We're just talking about like you can still be mobile. Like you can still be aligned to your thing. You just won't be able to warp until the end of that NSA cycle.
Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting. I think the hunters are going to love it.
Which is only a
throughout the
minute
galaxy.
max.
Well,
Yeah.
and the other thing is with that, I mean, the fact is slowing down the rate that you can rat. That's been part and parcel of what CCP's been doing for trying to fix the ISK generation issue for a while now. Like the anomalies now, right now you can't.
Omeka, good point.
I mean, the way that you're gonna, the way that they've nerfed the anomaly respawn time, at least with the sanctums and everything. You have to slow down because if you're too fast, you're gonna run through all of them and have to sit there. So I think all of this stuff combined, plus
Thank
with
you,
the fighter
dear
nerf,
wife. I needed it tonight.
Miss Dirk, he's my
It'll be
hero.
okay.
Wait, where's that fireball, Dirk? I know you had some. I saw that picture.
I did.
and then you had, like, what, two
That
Svedkas?
fireball is for
Was
fucking
that two
tomorrow.
Svedkas in
This
there?
fucking handle of Tito's was also supposed to be for tomorrow, as well as those two fucking bottles of like nasty
It
ass
was
fucking
Svedka.
raspberry Svedka.
It was raspberry
whatever.
Svedka. Damn. Is that from
Whatever.
Gert Jr.?
I realized earlier in the night, I'm just like, you just make sure it's here by 10:30, and look at her, 10:26 p.m. Love my woman.
Damn, 4 minutes early.
Give her the D, bro.
Where do I get one of those?
She's like, if I bring that down to him, I'll have no need for the fucking deed tonight. Or she may have a need, but like she won't have a fucking like
so
you know,
true.
supply.
She goes sleep. She'll find him downstairs sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Do you have spare batteries in the house?
yeah. Where the fuck were we?
We're talking
I think
about
Talk about supers.
yeah, supers
Yeah.
and reps
They're
and
gonna
shit.
die. Well,
So the fighter thing is also, I think, good, and that all of that combined, I think, is going to slow down its generation, and hopefully we'll be able to see that in the next MER.
I was surprised there was nothing about Boston's that got introduced in this patch.
That,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Boston's
something
so
else.
I think
we're
it
gonna
did
talk
do
about
because
Bosons.
I think that dudes are not going to be able to freely boson
What
out
do
of
you
their
mean?
space without getting dropped on by like 50 dread.
No, we're talking.
dying.
I think he's talking about bosun ratting.
Yeah, Bosun.
Oh,
because
Bosun Rat.
Well,
that's one.
I
Boston,
was
and
really
then-
kind of fucking shocked at that
But-
as well, but I just looked at this as being
this is
something
the
where
thing.
CCP said at the end of this that they're going to continue to look at. So,
Well, and
so
that's- and
3
I agree
years
with-
from now,
yeah,
we'll be
right.
talking about how
No,
they
we-
made a change to bosun
2
ratting.
months. 2 months. I mean, I honestly,
Not
Harper, I
fucking
agree
2
with you,
months.
but
It's
here's
not
the
even
thing.
on their fucking radar in 2 months.
Dirk, it's on the radar. Jesus Christ, we brought it up at the summit.
Okay, I get you brought it up at the fucking summit. I'm only going by the fucking dev blog that the rest of us have to live with.
Yeah, and the fact that they said that they were going to iterate again in July was in the dev blog. Did you not read that?
That's not, I believe, what July said, but okay.
But
Do
yeah,
I need to find the fucking thing now?
That's
Dude,
all right, I'll
you
find it.
posted our show
I'm
notes.
faster.
You should be humble tonight.
Yeah, Chris.
I had fun. The audience
Blacklisted.
liked it. Look, the point is, with the bosun, I don't think it's as big a deal because even when you're at bosun ratting, you have to hit either the first wave or the final wave with your guns anyway. And the Haw nerf is gonna, I think, is gonna have an impact there and slow you down.
Yeah, I think it's
So,
gonna slow
we'll
down
see.
a little bit. I'm curious to try it out because I haven't ratted Bosun ratted in a long time, but it seems like you're still hitting pretty hard with the Haws as it is. So I don't know if it's now takes 3 shots instead of 2 shots to nuke a battleship or how it is. But I'll be interesting. I'll be happy to try it out after
With
it happens.
Serpentis tracking computers, I don't have an issue hitting even with pulses on my avatar. So, non-hot
Well, I mean,
pulses.
we'll see what happens when we get. I mean, are you using long range guns?
No,
Or are you
I'm
using the
pulses.
Haws?
I use
No,
Haws.
I'm using regular
Regular T2s. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we'll see.
But
We'll
because
see
I
what
mean, you
happens when
don't
we,
have to
as we
clear
test
you
server.
don't have to clear a shit ton once you're done. If you do it, like you don't.
It's so hard. Let's be honest. Boston ratting is not an easy thing. It's not an easy task to
No,
get right every single time.
No,
Right.
it's not. But I mean, if you do it at least decently correct, you don't have to clear that many at the end.
Well, hold on. We shouldn't pretend that bosun ratting is like VNI ratting, right? Like,
No.
it is
No.
not. It is like you actually
it's
have
only
to know
got
how to fucking
100
fire
bill
a
more
bosun
worth
and do
than
this.
on
So
the
like,
field,
even though it may be easy for those people that have some talent, it is not the thing that is used by most people out there. Even if they use it, they're not talented at it, and
Now,
they just never get talented because
I
they're
just think it's a bad
fucking
idea
players.
in general. I mean, there is no
So,
reason to put that
Sea
Rock
at
shouldn't
risk.
fucking-
for
Well,
the same stuff
okay,
you
so
kill.
real quick, okay,
in that
because
ship.
I don't ever fly Titan, so I understand how a bosun works, but I'm confused on the whole bosun Titan ratting because like there's waves in sites, right? So like if you bosun bosun one
Waves
wave,
spawn in one-
bosun
the waves
that lasts
spawn in
long
one
enough
spot.
that the waves keep spawning while it's going on.
but isn't there a
God.
cooldown on the
And
bosun?
they come out of a
5 minutes.
And they
It's
come
5
out of a
minutes, yeah.
very
5
minutes.
small area.
So you
So you
bosun a
land-
wave,
you
and then
land-
while you're waiting for
so
the
you
cooldown,
warp
doesn't
to
the
it- you warp
wave
to it
like
at 30.
spawn and come at you and circle
Ish.
you, and you can't bosun them anymore?
No. You work to it at 30-ish. You wait for the first spawn to go. You boast on that spot where the first spawn goes, and then they all spawn around that area, and they all die. Except like the last spawn, you might get a couple dudes.
They're all in the
You
bosun.
clear them
Yeah,
off, you
you
realign,
kill
you wait 5 minutes, and then you warp. to the
Boom.
next one.
Boom.
Yeah, it's not
So
that bad.
you can basically warp on.
I'll link you a
spawn
video,
to-
Drayden.
Oh, okay, because I
Yeah.
sorry, I've never flown
So-
a Titan. I'm a
so
little
I'm
confused
gonna
on the.
point
would have
this
taught
out-
you
Titan
this
I'm gonna
before you
point
went
this
to
out. So
NC Dot, but
CSM,
apparently not.
Well, I don't
CSM
fly
Rock
Titan.
says-
I don't know how Titan
I know,
ratting
but I
works.
thought
But
Elo would have just like put it out on the Elo forums or
Nah.
something. But now that you're
So-
going to NC Dot, you'll learn about it like from
See,
higher
yeah,
level.
see,
I'm surprised they
Yeah.
even let you
players.
in without having a Titan Drayden.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
see,
I got
You
a
defend
free
the rules.
pass from Lady Scarlet, so
That's good to know.
because I looked at the requirements, I'm like, I don't meet these. She's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, okay.
That's because
That
Matterall
Lady
sold
Scarlet
it.
vouch?
Matterall sold it as a package, and you
This
got
one's
like
Matterall.
you got the sub package kind of.
I don't know. Like, he was saying, he was like, yeah. I asked her if that said that you wanted to come in. She's like, yeah, bring him in. So.
All right.
Lady thought that I was coming and bringing you along, and
it's because
that's
the
how Matterall sold it, but I never.
no,
actually
because
answered the-
I
Dirk,
told
I'm
her
waiting for
I told her I was like, no,
application
Dirk
by
isn't
Corporate.
coming, and they're like, he can still come in. So I got the pity pass maybe, but
So now Dirk is gonna come hang out.
They're
with
like, are
me.
you nearby? Can we
No,
just
no,
like
hold
one
on,
sign-up
hold
for
on.
you?
So Dirk's gonna come hang out with me. Oh no, sorry. Draden's gonna come hang out with me. Rain can come hang out with me. Dirk, you should come too. And kill
Yeah,
some
that's
people.
the
I'm
funny
only hanging
thing-
out with you,
that's the
remember?
funny is
I've
like,
seen
Yeah.
where these people go. They don't fucking stick around for any period of fucking
well,
time.
no. That's the funny thing. I changed
Fucking
alliances.
horrible.
I'm still
We get lots
blue
of kills,
to raid.
dude.
They're
Iron
not,
Wolf,
hey,
I
they're
have
not the type of
blue,
people you
but-
want. They're not fucking committed to your organization.
What are you talking about?
I've been
When I
on
go
your
someplace,
seat.
I'm committed to your fucking organization. That's just
Dirk,
how
you
I
should
am.
join
I'm
in it. Come
committed
over
to
with me.
fucking Iron.
We'll have
He keeps
fun.
kicking me
Oh,
and I
Dirk
just
is
keep
retired.
going.
Yeah, Rain, can you please enlighten these dudes about how much a good CEO I am, dude?
Thank
Wait,
you.
you're a- whoa, whoa,
You know,
whoa,
I was
you're a
trying to get
CEO,
him on
Iron?
his fleets.
You're a
yeah.
CEO?
He's a CEO. He's an FC. He's super involved in the game. He
Yeah, I was
I
just
liked
a
him
CEO
better when
last
he
week.
was when he was blue to me.
Like
when he
you
was
actually
an
fly
Iron Man.
spaceships and tell people what to do?
I had to listen to Darkshines, and he sucks. And apparently, like
Drayden,
believe me,
people
it
are asking, why do you
shows.
join
Shines
No.
is
North?
great. He
Drayden
just
joined
is
the
great.
North
right,
because
dude,
he
he's
was
going through
literally
a
like
rough
a
spot
jump
right
and a
now,
half
a little
away.
rough spot.
There's multiple reasons.
But listen. Can I just bring this up, dude? Like, we were talking about Titan riding, and this dude called CSMC Rock, and I'm gonna mention him because he has a Titan I know because he's in my corp. He said the changes to the HA should have been to cycle time, not alpha. And so
I don't
As a
have a problem
complete
with that.
idiot, so
Fist-
Titans, why?
I would
I'm a
rather just
complete
take the
idiot to
Hogs off the
Titans,
Titans.
well, this is why Rain got kicked out.
See-
Shut up, Rain.
Exactly.
Are you kidding?
Exactly.
Get
Wow.
Titan! I thought you were a good CEO. Where's my free Titans?
See, it was funny because like I didn't know you got kicked out. Like you told me like, oh, I just joined Horde temporarily, then I went over to Habit. You got kicked out.
I did join Horde, and then apparently that was
Dobbins
not
tracked
good
her
news.
down.
And so
You
now
got
I'm in
kicked
Habit,
out.
and
Why'd
I'm like,
you get
know what?
kicked?
There's too much drama in Horde. I'd rather
Alright,
stick with Habit.
We
you know, 'cause they
are
just- everyone just makes fun of Headliner, and Headliner's like, yo, you're all shit, and then like it's all good.
okay. We're tangenting a lot, so we got to get back to the patch.
So,
not a patch,
yeah,
bro.
Dirk,
Patch
are we allowed
notes?
to continue on to the next subject?
I don't know. Do you have a next
Oh.
subject?
Oh, are you asking permission to talk?
Wow, here we go.
While you were on super carriers, were there any other issues that related to super carriers or carriers that you might think might have been in this?
So we've only talked
Balance.
about the patch notes in regards to ratting, and we haven't talked about them. how
Well,
they
we talked about
affect
the
PvP.
reps pretty fairly, but
Yeah, the reps. But we've
The
only
reps.
talked about the Hog guns as a.
we have
as
not
it
talked about
pertains
hog
to
guns.
both
That was
ratting.
actually
They
the
didn't really
second
talk
main
about
point.
guns all that much. They just kind of mentioned
the fighter nerf on supers hopefully will have an impact on PvP. Now it wasn't. We were hoping that there
Hodred,
would be some
baby.
changes to sirens and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fighters I think is going to be useful. That was Suetonia's big deal, trying to get fighter application nerfed, and I'm glad that they did it, and we'll see what the impact is.
So hot dreads are gonna be things, revs are gonna be a thing, and Micro
Right.
happens to hand out free revs, so I'm recruiting. Just FYI.
There we go. So I'm happy about that. I'd like to see. I want to see how it actually works out. But I mean, the fact was that supers in particular, heavy fighters could just hit and kill anything, and it was very oppressive for subcaps. Now I think it'll be a little less oppressive. Now they're still gonna hit hard, but it's not going to be as bad as it was. So we'll see. But I think there are some other stuff for supers and PvP that I know we want to change. Sirens and Dromies in particular, both of them are an issue. I feel like if you're in a super, you should be focused on damage application, and you need to have subcaps for tackle. And I don't like the fact that you can pretty much do everything if you want. So I think we need to change that, but we'll see what happens.
All right, now we can talk about big fat excavators.
Let's do it.
Rourke
Do what?
walls.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Yeah.
this is my favorite thing of the
Is
whole
that really
changes.
where people are coming from? Is like the excavators, or are they coming from the Rorqual standpoint?
So
Everything.
here,
I'm really
here's
wondering.
my thing.
It's bad, Dirk. Like the
It-
Evo
is it?
forums, the crabs are upset.
So
I imagine they are.
I'm actually gonna say this very quick.
Although
I'm really
depending on
happy.
where they are, they shouldn't be. But whatever.
I'm really happy because I can finally say fuck the dudes that have 10 Wurkles. I can run my 5 Hulks, my 1 Wurkle, and it's more than those dudes are making. So fuck them.
But they also have a lot bigger or hold. But I just like it that the GSM was able to put these changes into play so that we can specifically target Olmec and his drone boosting activities. Because that's what we're doing. That's the whole goal and whole point of that. Because now we can suppress his gameplay.
I was waiting for Omeka. I mean, he did make a post about that, right?
Yep. I
Yeah.
love it. It's a great change. So yeah, exactly, Olmec. That's why we specifically.
Oh, Olmec
did
is
that.
in chat actually.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line for me when we talked about this change was
I'm a
the
stranger
biggest
to the drone bushing.
increasing. It wasn't even the bushing side of it. It was increasing the size so you can't fit them all in the Wii 2 because it drives me crazy. We'd go out whaling, and if they're paying attention, even if they don't have a response fleet that can come in and save them, and we're going to get the kill, it's a 2 billion kill. I mean,
So are you mad because
Okay.
people are paying attention to the game, Brisk?
I'm mad because I couldn't kill something that was worthwhile for all
Dirk
the
is
effort
gone,
that we
so
put
I'm
into
trying
do
to
it.
I'm trying to fill in here. So you're mad that people are paying attention to the game and trying to save their assets.
Correct. I want more stuff to
I
blow
don't
up.
think you're right, sir. It's unacceptable.
You gotta talk. You
Why
gotta yell
can't
at me.
people just feed
No.
me when I'm roaming
No.
in their
You know,
space?
Correct.
This is
Hello?
Exactly right.
Just because
So anyway,
initiative,
so the
just
point
'cause
is now they
initiative
have
can
to- they
only
can
get
only get
kills in wormholes.
They can only get a couple in. It's good.
I mean-
it makes the kill mails better.
So what?
Yeah,
do you-
Omeka should know full well as a member of the initiative. The last thing I'm
I
going to
just
do
did
is
one,
want to
but
do
yeah, why
anything
not? Yeah.
that would nerf bushing.
Nah, but like I'm happy that it to come around. We needed a little bit of nerf to work
Sorry.
because dudes
Oh.
are just putting 10 worse
Whoa.
into these belts.
There we go. Sorry.
And mine.
Jaden, what'd you do?
What
I-
happened?
Aw.
I clicked on a thing. It's fine. We're fixed now. Go.
What happened? All right, so. God, we suck. Anyway, I'm happy to finally see that dudes that have like 10 works are really losing money now to the dudes that have like 1 work and like 10 Hulk ults because I mean, I think it was unfair.
How do you even calculate that?
Look, I mean, Ironwolf.
Like-
I know what
like-
you're
like
trying to
what
say.
math
but
are you using?
Let me be honest. The fact is, all the crabs on the forums are going crazy because why
Of
would
course
I
they are.
bother training into work walls now? Why would I put the?
Because you
the
need a
bottom line
work.
is-
The
Forget
boost-
about
the
why would
Rook
you
Wall-
bother training into work.
the
The
Rook
roost,
Wall
the Rook
is
is the
still
booster.
the best mining ship in the game.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. And even with the Hulk, the bottom line is even if you have to have a work on grid with
Right.
maximum.
So I have
skills
an Oracle and
to be
5
able to get
Hulks,
the 2 to
and that's
1
better. But that's
Hulk
fine.
thing.
But I already have all these accounts, and I trained an alt or second character with all these
Boosting's
Hulks.
different.
Right?
If you have a bunch of Hulks already trained up, then that's
Right,
great. But the
right.
bottom line is if you have to choose between 10 work walls or 1 work wall and 9
But-
Hulks, you're going to mine more with 10 work walls.
But these
period.
dudes are when
Is
I
that just
agree
'cause
with
the
them
ore
is, why
holes or
would
the
you-
actual
why would you
harvest amount?
field- Why would you field 6 Hulks or 6 Workles when you could field 1 Workle, 5 Hulks, lose to 5 Hulks, and say fuck it? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's true. I mean, yeah, you're not putting as much on grid,
Right.
but you're not going to mine as much. I mean,
That's
that's
bullshit.
just the question. If you want to,
Well, you're not going to mine as much. It's
you're not going to mine
literally,
as much.
No.
it's
Yeah.
literally. Hold on. If what you're talking about is mining yield, you're not going to mine as much. Now, if what you want to get into is mining yield,
Compared to risk.
Clicks per
compared
minute.
to risk, now we're talking a different thing, which is what this actually fucking comes
So-
down
so-
to.
Wait,
right?
but you're
now
talking
we
about
are
4
now
minute-
we are in the
4 minute
game of
cycles.
sitting there going, what do you want to trade in terms of what you put on the field in terms of value and what you can warp off fucking immediately.
So
okay,
it's just
versus
it's min maxing. It's
That-
min maxing. Like if you want to min
Correct.
max and be like the top tier,
But
you
the
put
if
way
you wanna
more
min-max, you're gonna run the
ratio of a
work
risk
still.
out than normal.
You're going to run if you want to min max.
if you want to min max, you're going to run the work
If you care about risk versus reward or risk versus
and super
you
cap
know, yield,
umbrella and all
then
that
you're
kind of
gonna-
fucking shit.
right, you're gonna change how you do it, and you're gonna do what Wolf does. You're gonna run 1 work. And
This
a
is
bunch of
not-
Hulks.
Hold on. We should not mislead anyone out there to think that whatever fucking math you're using, okay, is like they're equal or somehow fucking
They're not.
Hulks are
It's
like
not.
out mining Rorquals. They're just fucking not.
It's and the other thing with the Hulks, the bottom line is it's literally we're simply talking about raw yield. We're not talking about anything else because the fact is, yeah, it's great. Rorks, are wonderful and they're huge and they're big and they got giant ore holes and that's why you use them. The Hulk still 2 cycles are your mining lasers and you're full. So you absolutely have to have Rorks on grid, otherwise you're going to be going back and forth and it's going to be awful.
No,
And you
I'm
also
just
have to deal
saying.
with cap
But you
stuff,
got to
so
realize
it's
the
just
whole
different.
change. You're talking about. All right, 4-minute cycles now. 7 minutes was
4 to 5,
I mean,
right? 4 to 5.
Even when I was in it, dude, it took us 6 minutes to get our shit together to save a Rorqual. So what happens now when those Rorquals start dying on a massive point? I mean,
Well, and that's the whole thing
That's
about
the
whether
goal.
or not you think your Rourke, number 1, is going to die, or number 2, your freaking excavators are going to die, which I think is actually more than the fucking Rourke. Now that excavators, which I believe you guys did mention before, are larger and therefore can't get into the fucking unit, there's more risk on the field, right? Is that worth it to people out there? That's going to be a big question, depending on whether or not what organization you're in out there, whether or not the kind of umbrella that can save your fucking ass is there. Look, I think that the larger organizations, that's the place to fucking. If you want to fucking Rorqual mine at max fucking velocity,
But
okay.
with the fax changes, is that going to be contemplate how those max save fleets work?
How many fucking faxes get sent out there to save these things from the type of gangs that come through?
Well, that's going to be another.
Believe me,
look,
you're
that's
not even
another,
in, you're not
but
even
here's
in
the
the
thing.
fucking slope.
But Dirk,
most
listen,
of the time.
that's a very that is a legitimate question because here's the thing: when you take the insurance changes, and you bring that in there, and then you also bring in the fact that you can't save all your excavators, that Rorqual is only like a $2.5 billion ship on its own. Would you really want to sacrifice a bunch of faxes to save that ship when it's not worth as much as the faxes probably are at this
Dude,
point?
I think it's going to be business as usual.
I think organizations that can should, because you know what? They got to throw a fucking marker down.
I think it's going to be business as usual until somebody has to spend 60 times what it was for that Rorqual in faxes and supers and everything, and someone dread bombs like fucking 100 dread bombs. And then it's going to be we're not reimbursing.
Number one,
I can't wait.
If you think a dread bomb is possible, now we're off into a different type of
what?
thing.
How are we off on the same thing?
Over Rorquals. Okay. However, this is the good thing about this, right?
It is going to have.
It is going to have to make
2 hours
some
later.
people. It is going to have to make some people fucking choose.
Hey, you know what?
Okay, between
Commissar's point is true. Faxes get full SRP, but now when the SRP is like $1.5 billion and not 600 million, it's going to start pissing
Suck
people
be
off.
everybody else.
You know, but the big guys, the huge guys that have a ton of
the
money,
big guys, it doesn't fucking matter for.
This is
the grand scheme of this whole fucking thing. The big guys, it doesn't fucking matter for at all.
It's gonna matter if they keep whelping faxes over and over
So
again.
I made my way around the map, dude. Like, listen, all right? Sister Bliss is a smart dude. A smart dude doesn't let shit keep happening over and over again. If you keep losing shit and it costs him reimbursement money, he's gonna cut that shit off, right? I mean, Brisk, you know how he is, dude.
It's absolutely true. I mean, look, I had to fight tooth and nail to get my Titan reimbursed, and even then, I barely got the whole value. You know, the bottom line is, even for these big groups, they're not going to just throw away SRP willy nilly.
No, it's not about
SRP cost. When the SRP cost for a fax and a dread triples because of the insurance changes, then that's going to change how people decide. You know, whether they're going to do stuff to like. Right now, it drives me crazy when we drop supers in Quirius to save Rorquals. We're putting 20 billion or 15 billion, 16 billion ISK assets on the field to try to save a 2 billion ISK ship.
Yeah, but that's because you lack the subcore. You know why? Because you lack the subcaps down there.
Use your words, Iron Wolf.
You guys don't even allow.
But the point
At least
I'm
they're
making
allowed
is
to rat with
that
them.
you lose enough ships trying to save these things, and all of a sudden it's going to change the meta. It's going to change people's behavior, and that's a good thing. It changes things up, and then we're going to see more stuff die, and we're going to see the ability of smaller groups, 40, 50-man gangs, being able to go through and kill Rorks. We're going to be able to see these guys go out and killing more Hulks. I think it's in the long run, it's going to be good for the game. Well,
What
I
do you mean
mean,
killing
we'll
more
see.
hulks? I mean, like
The
honestly-
industrial backbone of any
honestly,
large
if you're in
alliance is too
Exhumers,
important to piss away because you don't want to lose Faxes. You're going to keep saving Rorquals no matter what. You need
this-
the industry guys there to max mine, to get the minerals, to
No.
build the Titans and the Supers.
Right.
If you just let them die to roaming gangs, you're fucking yourself. So you're going to keep saving them, guaranteed.
well,
50-50 beyond that because I can
if
build
you-
a work for less
yeah,
than
if you
it's
need
going to
it
cost
that
save
way,
it.
but like the fact is that the people out there that are most likely to be able to save that shit are going to be able to have the herds out there grazing the fucking fields the same way that they fucking ever used to. Okay,
Which is
This-
why I think a lot of the
because
super
there's
crabs are
another
bitching-
because there was
are bitching
another
for no
Rorqual
reason.
change that came in here before you even have to hit the panic button, okay, and which we've said is shorter, right? There is also a fucking hit coming to local reps about whether or not some little douchebag fucking comes in and you're sitting there going, whatever, motherfucker, I can totally fucking local rep you, okay? And then he, brings all his friends in and you freaking hit panic and like throw the flare up. There's a whole number of
Sign 'em.
things that are involved here, okay? That I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go back to what I said on fucking Thursday morning on Talking in Stations. This is a discouragement to those people out there who can't defend their Rorqual grazing fleets out there. But for those who can, guess what? You're going to still keep being able to fucking do that.
Yeah, so it's a nerf to basically all of New Eden, except Delve.
Except those places where it can fucking
Well,
really matter the
Hyper
most with the
smuggling,
goddamn fucking fleet that can come in and save shit.
Well, and that's what Karmasar was saying. He's like, Delve will adjust
I'm
in a
not saying
day or
it's just
two.
Delve, but like, like
Well, all the big
there's
groups-
all of
all of
like
the big
3
groups are gonna
places
be fine.
max.
He's saying
I-
Devil
I-
will adjust in a day or two, is what Karmasar said, and that's
But
pretty
this
much
is true.
true.
But the fact, I mean, the bottom line is the changes to the panic and the other types of stuff, that's not going to have as big an impact on the small guys as you all think, because the fact is they don't have a response fleet coming anyway.
Well,
So all
yeah,
the
and
panic
here's-
does is just means they have to. It takes another extra
Postpones the
minute for them to
inevitable.
die. They're
So
going to
we're gonna
die
see-
anyway.
We're gonna see
So-
more people dying, losing excavators, while Delve has had trillions upon trillions and tens of trillions of this mined, and there's just gonna be this. It's gonna be unattainable for other people.
I don't.
Which I'm
I
both
don't
for.
think it's going to be much different than it is now, because the reality is it is just as risky for the small guys putting their work walls out, knowing that they don't have cover to protect them now, as it will be in a month when they make these changes. I think if anything, this will have a bigger impact on the bigger groups because they're going to lose more Rorks. Now, granted, it doesn't matter to them, but that's a good thing because it means more people are going to be out fighting and more fleets are going to go and hit their targets and not get run off and get pissed off. I get
So what Brisk
DMs
is
from
basically
people
saying
constantly
is,
about people not being able
so
to kill
what
Rorks.
Brisk is basically saying is Pando can finally kill shit in Stukas again.
Right. Well, we could do
Yeah.
it anyway, but we don't have to bring.
No,
we don't have to
I
bring 80.
mean
We can bring 40.
It's been going down, man. Let's not exaggerate a little bit.
Look,
Stukas
I'm not
versus
asking.
Supers,
I'm
you
not
mean?
asking for anybody to
I love you,
read
Brisk.
this now. Okay, I'm not asking for anybody to read this now. I am going to link it out there in fucking Twitch chat. Okay, Dirk's fucking thing that I wrote in like 18 hours.
Can
it
we get
didn't
a
take me
shot?
18 hours.
Shot,
okay,
shot.
okay. Back in
Well, let him finish
2017,
the sentence.
upon the third
fuck, dude?
Rorqual nerf after they introduced Rorquals, okay? Because I had a fucking deja vu when I read this bullshit about how you're just nerfing a ship because you can't actually think about the overall environment, about how to actually regulate mineral income out there in the overall ecology of EVE Online.
I saw
Okay.
that. I thought
Make
Shots.
fucking depletion
Depletion.
great again.
yeah.
Tito.
No, I remember seeing that thing that you put out on Twitter, Dirk, the depletion thing.
I did.
Which I
did,
think
because I'm gonna tell you
depletion
right
might
now,
balance
I'm gonna
things
tell you
better
right
than
now.
Rorquals because it doesn't matter how fast you mine it. If there's a limit to how much it comes up,
It's
then
all
that
about,
limits
it's
it.
all about all the types of things that you're trying to do, right? Like, you don't sit there and just fucking nerf the ship, which literally hits everybody across the entire freaking universe and everything like that. If what your problem is a bunch
Total
of
amounts.
motherfuckers hiding under the skirt of a super cap umbrella out there, and if they want to mine at the fucking max rate with their rorquals and all that kind of shit, whatever that fucking max rate is at the time, regardless of these nerfs that are proposed and shit, okay, you hit everybody with a ship-based or an excavator nerf, okay, as opposed to what you should be doing is talking about what's the field look like.
That makes
what
sense.
What about if you pack a bunch of motherfuckers all into one system, like a bunch of people into like a single apartment because they can't afford anything more than that? It's like, look at this on a more holistic scale. Find out, how does the whole acquisition of mineral resources and all that kind of shit affect conflict across EVE? Like, all of these things are things they need, but they don't give a shit. It's fucking hammer and
That's
nail,
not true,
ignorant
Dirk.
fucking thinking.
I-
Bam,
You got
bam,
your
bam.
head up your ass.
I don't know. I
No,
kind of.
no, I don't fucking have my
See,
fucking head up my
you
ass.
do. I'm
Chris.
telling you right now that if you go to resource depletion, that does not help any of these little guys at all. That doesn't help anybody. All that does is mean that the big groups are going to take more space.
Then
and the
take
smaller
more
groups are
crush
going to get
any-
crowded
Spread
out.
your ass out. Get
It's
out
not
from
gonna
under
help
your
them.
fucking super
They would
cap
have to
umbrella.
take more
It's
space,
not
which
gonna
means
help
they'd
them.
have to hold more space, which we've already proved that holding more space is harder with the newer mechanics.
If
Go ahead,
everybody wants
go
to
back
do
to
it,
7
if everybody's
fucking
got to do
regions.
it, then fine. But it's not. It's not.
But
gonna-
it's harder to
look,
hold like
when
all
you
that space
got,
now.
I've said this before, and Hyper has said it, and everybody else that is paying attention says it. If you try to fucking balance this game based on what the goons do, you're gonna fuck everybody else.
It's
and
not
hurt
just what the
them
goons
at
do,
all.
it's what-
Don't do that, because they can adapt better than you can.
It's
However,
not. It's because of their size and their
don't fucking
organization.
let
The
them
fact is
under
true.
adapt.
You
Well,
cannot
see-
balance the game based on what the 1% do,
It's
because
I-
whatever you do to the top
Minsk can
guys,
do that
it has a
shit.
huge impact on the
However,
smaller
He needs
guys.
the game to survive.
However,
He's
if
got
I
a fucking
nerf your
paycheck,
ship,
dude.
guess what? You're on an equal level as all these other people, except for
right, you're
But
getting
you're
nerfed
not
just as much as the
equal
big
level,
guy.
a
But if
whole
the
hell of a lot
if
But
easier.
you're
the
not when you have the ability and the organization to N+1 every change, it's not going to make a difference. That's the thing.
This
If they
will
can get around the
literally
N+1
push
thing, that's one thing. But that's not
N+1
something
for
that
what-
resource depletion does.
Yeah,
It will
I-
ma-
I-
it
I
will
really
force
push
the N+.
anybody who wants to actually Rorqual mine
it'll
into the
I
freaking
think it's a valid
breadbasket
point.
of those areas out
Oh,
there
oh.
that
The
can
game
actually
has
do the
a problem
coverage.
because no one has a reason to move or go after anybody's space.
Well, but like it might force the N+1, but that will require them to enact the N+1 as opposed to just benefiting without having to do anything. Because, like you
But
said, like
I
if you nerf the ship, it nerfs everyone. But
You
if you
can't beat
nerf
numbers, Chris.
the
I-
respawn rate of the
You
belts,
gotta nerf the space, man. You gotta
the
nerf
goons
space.
would have to expand. It's not just goons. All the like the big groups, they have to
Everybody has to
expand.
expand. What does
They
that
have
mean?
to. It means that
It's
they'll
not
have
like
to do it.
It's so what? So what? Is that good? That may create a little bit of
Not
conflict
everybody
for
has
like
to
a
expand.
month. But
Not
the fact is,
everybody
all
has to
that
expand.
is gonna. You know what's gonna happen? Rental space is gonna get reduced. The small guys who are just trying to crab are going to have fewer places to go to because the big groups are going to reserve all the land for their folks. What
Not
it's going to end up doing is
everybody
pushing
has
more
to
people.
expand.
It's going to push more people into the big groups at the detriment of the little groups. That's why every time we talked and looked about this, it's been a bad idea. Like I'm
And
telling you, it's not. There's no silver bullet to fixing the mineral wealth issue.
There's
The only thing that I think is going to fix it is what I've been pushing the whole time, which is make it easier to blow shit up. The more stuff that dies, the more minerals get used to make new things, the better. The fact is,
I'm going to tell you right
Titans
now,
aren't dying
that's
fast
bullshit.
enough.
That's bullshit. You're never
It's
going to
not
have.
bullshit. It's
You're never going to
absolutely
have
No, so
fucking
here's
destruction
the
keep
thing,
up
Derek.
with construction.
The whole
in
I'm
thing
not
this
what's gonna
saying that
happen
you
is
will,
not.
but you increase construction to the point
That's a false
that the
fucking
amount
narrative.
of mineral wealth out there is not so much
Literally,
that it's going to drop everything.
literally,
to the
I'm
price.
Bernie Sanders. You're fucking a Republican motherfucker. And
You're Bernie
you're full of
Sanders.
shit.
Amazing.
Fuck you, man.
Did you just
So
call
here's the
yourself?
thing. Here's
Did
what's
Dirk
gonna
just
happen.
call himself Bernie Sanders?
Fuck
The
him,
only
man.
issue
I know.
What's
How
gonna
did I
happen is-
fucking do that?
Yeah,
Fuck that. I'm
what
not Bernie Sanders, but I'm way more fucking intelligent than Chris.
I never thought I'd hear the day where Dirk was like, "I'm Bernie Sanders." Anyway,
So here's the thing, like, what
I
if
feel
they
really
have
bad for
positive
saying I'm
expand
Bernie
space
Sanders
more,
because that's
all
that's
that's
shit
gonna happen
you
is
should
haunts
feel
me
bad,
for
Dirk.
me taking bats to other people's knees and ankles anytime they get any type of space expansion to cope with the new changes. All we have to do is just cripple them every couple of months, then they can never catch up.
Correct. Look, I mean, I'm firmly of the opinion that the vast majority of the problems in Eve are solved with more shit dying. It solves the generation
clip
problem. It
that.
solves the mineral
Dirk
wealth
is Bernie
generation problem.
Sanders. Clip that.
kill
shit.
more stuff, and make Eve great again. There you go.
And that sounds like a good note to end on.
No, it's not an end on. Someone clip that and link that shit when they clip that bullshit.
We got
Well,
4
you
more
don't- you
minutes
don't
to
have to
show.
link-
What else
well-
did they
Fuck
change?
that shit. I'm Camaro
no,
Sanders.
no, you're fucked now. you
Carmen
little
San Diego.
motherfucker.
Easy Bernie.
Was that Bernie?
I didn't mean fucking Bernie.
that
I didn't mean
Bernie?
fucking Bernie.
Can
I'm
we
not
make
a
one
fucking
do- hey,
socialist.
Yeah, you did.
Nameplate
I'm
Bernie
Camaro
Sanders.
Sanders.
So everybody
Dirk-
knows
Dirk-
here's the
Nameplate
mineral.
Bernie Sanders.
Dirk
Okay.
McSanders.
No, but seriously, and I understand.
Alexandria Cortez
we're like-
McGurk over
We're
here.
like, we're like 4 minutes till. We're like 4 minutes till, and I let you guys slide through the whole fucking. Don't take it through the fucking rounds of this shit, okay? But
But
this is not the fucking balance changes I expected. I
What do you
expected,
expect from the
honestly,
high
to
side?
be able to
I would
Oh,
love
look
to
God.
have
Here
a
it
retired.
Oh,
Elon
let me go.
Musk
Back
what
to high
should be
Wait,
done.
wait, wait, wait. Let-
Fuck off.
let-
No,
let- let-
seriously,
You
right
shut
now,
the
before I
fuck
pull
up,
fucking
Dirk.
rank.
Oh my
No,
god,
Dirk,
you're
literally,
so
how do you
angry.
think it's
you
gonna
can't pull
happen?
rank. You're retired.
Yeah,
Whoa!
you're retired.
Wait, everyone
Okay,
stop.
That being said,
Dirk, go.
banned from fucking server. Okay, here's the fucking deal. I expected more fucking thought process from this balance thing.
Oh
I
my
really
God.
fucking did. Like, didn't
Oh.
anybody? Because I'm sorry. If
Oh,
what you
God,
think is
Dirk.
that more balance changes are coming in the near term, once
This is when you
they've
start drinking, get
evaluated
brisk.
the changes they've had now, you know that's not happening, people.
Dirk, look, you got to stop with this 2014 mindset.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
have you
Oh,
not
yeah,
You're gonna
seen?
get banned.
I'm sorry.
They
I'm sorry.
have-
The mindset you had before you got elected,
You have to stop with this bullshit about CCP
before
not
you
entering.
made friends with the people in Iceland.
It's
for
no, it
your
has nothing
free
to do with
trip.
that. Look at the fucking shit that they have done. Okay, there have been iterations
What are
on
they?
balance change. They did ECM changes in October, and what happened in November? They upgraded power grid on a couple of the ships that were hit harder, and they made other changes. They're not just iterating once and then saying we're never going to touch this again. They're making the
Please,
change. They're
please.
doing what they
you
said they
know
were going
you
to
are
do.
not buying into their
Give
coming
them the
back
fucking
to this
credit.
in 3 months.
Stop it. Stop being
Just stop it.
a skeptical douche and recognize the fact
Retired
that CCP is
skeptical.
doing better than they have done in the past. And that's not me being a fanboy. If they were
It
fucking
is.
up and doing
It's
shitty
you
stuff,
being
I'd
a
say
guy
they
who
were.
goes to fucking Iceland and
It
doesn't
has
want
nothing
a
to
bad
do with that.
relationship.
Stop.
I'm looking and
Listen.
reading and seeing, and I'm saying, hey, you know
You're
what?
literally
They're
hold on.
actually
If you're
listening to the
looking and
players.
reading and seeing,
No one's
if you're
listening.
They are
looking and
listening
reading and
to the
seeing,
players.
Listen to me.
Who
Then
have
you
people,
don't have
people have been
history on
begging.
your side.
You got to do something
wanna
about
fucking
Supercats.
say
They're doing it. You got to do
something.
something about Cap.
I saw
They're
no
doing
way
it.
to
What the fuck?
I have something to say. If you read Reddit about the balance changes, they
You
are
have-
overwhelmingly positive. So if
Correct.
Reddit says
Yes,
it's
they
good to
are.
go, then it's
Yes, they
fucking
are.
good to go.
As
LLB,
are-
will find
as
LLB.
are
fucking what's wrong
any,
with
as
it, and
are
they will
any
fucking rage
devlog
about it.
changes when they first come out, they are received typically
No.
with a
No,
positive.
Are you fucking
No,
retarded,
no,
Dirk?
no.
Dirk,
Wow.
Hold on. I'm
Are
not
you
talking about
insane?
fucking
Fucking
broken
close.
changes
Piss
back
test
in the
that
fucking
man.
day.
Piss test.
Okay, when you've got a new set of changes, when you have a new set of changes, people are willing to accept that they are committing to something in the future. But history will tell you, and in fact,
History.
literally, I posted it out there before. Your July comment is full of shit nothingness. Okay. Through July, they have got things that have nothing to do with, and we'll revisit this. But even if you buy the "we'll revisit this" horse shit, okay, history will tell you, see you in 18 months, maybe 24.
And you know what?
Maybe never.
If this were
man.
2014, I would agree with you.
The last
Okay.
time. Hold
But
on.
they have
Let
demonstrated
let me please go back to
over the
fucking
last-
right before the summer of rage.
They
I'm
have
sorry,
demonstrated
the late spring of mild
over-
discontent 2017. Hold on, wait a second. Hold on. Because you know
That's
what?
the show,
Because
ladies
I
and gentlemen.
actually followed this
Hold on.
shit throughout the fucking years. Okay. The fact of the matter is, coming up on the late spring of mild discontent that happened in 2017, okay, they sat there and said, and if further changes to the Rorqual are needed, we'll be monitoring it. Hello, 2019.
Yeah,
And
Dirk,
did they change it?
they did. I mean,
How many
In
it's
times?
not crazy.
2019,
Are you
they did
literally
three
telling
changes
me?
in that
Are you
fucking
literally
time.
telling me that this company has not been changing the way that they do things compared to how they've done them in the past, and that you have not noticed a change over the last year?
Which pass do you want to fucking measure, Brisk?
I'm talking about
My dick.
pre-2016 pass. I'm talking about how it was in 2016 and 2015, where they've made major changes and they never touched them again. like faction warfare and then citadels, and they never touched the shit.
I love
I'm
you,
telling
Brisk.
you,
I love you.
they are-
but
they are
once you
changing-
get on the CSM, you do change.
Oh,
I didn't change. This is
You
not.
did.
Look,
Dirk.
I never
And then
said-
you're gonna go for horse dinner.
I thought it was where
Trey, can we get out?
Yeah.
Fight!
Whoa, okay.
I
so,
have
so-
enough money if I want to go to Iceland.
All right,
tomorrow.
let's
You
No,
can't afford horse.
Yeah.
You can't afford
Fucking
horse.
stay out of this.
no. We have to transition. We have to transition to keep the
Transition to what, my
to keep the
Oh, this is bullshit.
Okay, so like now the
I'm out.
Oh,
No.
it's only 11:01. We can like.
no, Dirk,
No,
Dirk.
we're
The
about-
last
I
time
am
we
trying to be.
I'm not
Look,
saying-
I am
I'm not
trying to
saying
be as
it's not.
objectively
No,
fair.
Dirk,
as
Dirk,
possible.
the last-
I'm not
everyone.
retarded fucking
That's
Dirk.
Braden's
Dirk. I
channel.
like had adrenaline.
the
flow
rest
over
of us
me.
are though. No,
Wait,
Dirk.
wait,
Like
wait,
the
wait.
last
Can I
time
call
that
the
we
last
kept
shot?
on, we
No,
kept
I'm
on
not
too
saying-
long.
By
I'm
Hyper.
not saying
See you guys
go on
later.
for fucking
Good
ever.
times.
Wait, no, wait. Can we call
Thank you,
last
Hyper.
shot? on the
Whoa,
show?
whoa.
Last
Well, I'm saying
shot.
we
Last shot.
if it's for a few
shot.
minutes is fine, but like we can't go on for like
I'm
another
saying-
half
I'm
hour.
saying to
Have a
like,
great
calling
time.
extend
last
the couple
shot.
of minutes that will take to
I
have
I
the
love you
conversation.
guys.
I don't have anything left to say on that.
Risk,
Yeah,
you're my
yeah.
homeboy.
So
I
a
said my shit.
I'm recruiting
Yeah.
when you want to come over to the good side.
hold
Or have an
on.
alt.
All right, hold on. We'll do a shot, but like, yeah, a few
Never
minutes
had
is
it.
fine. A few minutes is fine,
Right.
but like 30 minutes is too long. So like, we'll
LB, you're the
close
man.
it out as
Can we
soon
get
as
a
we
shot,
can.
shots, bro? I can't do it without
I'm
shots,
just
bro.
saying,
I
Drayden,
can't
all
do
I'm
it without
saying
the
is
soundboard.
if Chris,
All
I will
right.
allocate my time to the gentleman from Virginia.
I have not changed.
Hold on, I have to.
I am still.
You're the man.
Everybody.
I am
Dirk,
not-
Dirk,
I
I
have
did
not
not hear you
changed
over
at
Lil
all.
Jon. So
I, am
Wicked
not,
Hyper Piper,
I
he
do
sucks.
not change because
Anyway.
of whatever. The fact is, I'm the same as I always were. I always were.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right,
Was
Brisk.
it
You don't tell us
fair?
your
Brisk.
secrets anymore,
Was it
okay?
worth-
yeah, you don't tell us your
NBA
secrets.
changed you,
Nah,
It's
Where's our
objectively.
leaks?
It's objective. I'm being objectively fair. If I thought these guys were being shitty and weren't doing their jobs, I would tell you.
So listen,
But
Oh,
so
it
far,
doesn't have-
look.
I
The
did
bottom
not
line
call
is
out them
when I
doing
got
their
on this.
fucking
When I was.
I
we're
called
not on
out
the air,
their
but I'll tell you
fucking
guys.
work
flat.
scale, along.
Look, I'll tell you flat out. When I got on, I talked to Sort. I talked to Malcanus. I talked to all the other
talk to
guys that run
Sword.
the
That's the
CSM.
problem.
What they told me was, do not expect them to ever do anything you ask them to do. Do not expect them to make major changes because they don't like doing that. Do not expect them to iterate on anything and have very low expectations. And if you do that, then you'll be okay. Otherwise, you're going to come in here,
Dude,
gonna
you're
get
on the
disillusioned
air.
because
You're on the air.
they don't do anything.
Sword.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I'm
know
gonna
we're
let
on
you
the
know
air.
you're on the air right now.
Oh,
Right, I'm
the
back on the
cameras
air.
are all
I'm the
fucked up. I'm
fucking
sorry.
aware.
And what I'm telling you,
On
and
the
what
air,
I'm telling you
Iron
is,
Banks,
and then we
Iron
get
Okay, now
we
just the
get
names
there,
are fucked up. I'll fix them.
we get there and we start doing stuff, and the reality is, they listened to us. They took the shit we said to do and did it. They stopped the stuff they said they were going to do that we told them was a bad idea. And I talked to the other guys, and they're all like, "Holy shit, they're actually listening. This is amazing. It's so much better than it was last year or the year before." So as far as I can tell, the
I'm
company
sorry.
is different than it was.
I'm
in the
sorry,
past,
I've
and I'm
been
willing to give
around
them a
so
little
long that I still like people out there. Right,
How's
right
it
now,
easy
going,
fix?
not this
What the
again.
fuck?
Just go to that. Oh no, that was like not
No, no,
understanding.
no, no, no.
Like not to believe that the things that have happened in the past might repeat themselves.
I'm
It's
not-
like
look,
I'm sorry.
But the point
I'm
is-
sorry.
but
It's like
Dirk,
for
you're
those people
smart
out
enough to
there-
know. You're smart enough to know that past performance is not indicative of future results.
Bullshit.
Okay?
Bullshit.
And it's a
'Cause I'm gonna
diff-
tell you right now, as a fucking
different
research
people.
analyst for people, when you commit the same fucking research,
But it's not-
the same
Dirk,
fucking
it's a
things
different-
that
it's
I've
different
researched
people.
over fucking time. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking hold you to that. I'm gonna sit there
Dirk,
and go,
it's
made the
different
same
people.
mistake in that time, made the same mistake in this time, made the
It's
same mistake
different
in this
people
time.
doing different stuff.
Stop.
Okay. There's a
Stop
ton of.
Stop
it
it.
is. What do you mean? Stop it. Is
Hey,
Seagull
Drayden?
running things anymore?
Hey, Drayden?
No.
Drayden, are we going to the After Dark show?
Every
Let's
week
just-
we have
let's
a
just
drink
go
stick
now.
to,
Hold
to
up.
this
Can I,
CCP
can I,
person who's
can
left.
I ask Drayden a question
It's a
before
different
we go
company.
after the show?
Okay.
I have a guy that used to run a Workle and 11 alts, and you know,
11
changes and
11
stuff.
Rourke
He wants to,
alts?
No,
he wants to pop on.
11 Hulk alts.
Oh, he had Hulk.
He had Hulk ults.
Yeah,
Oh
he-
shit!
What is
We-
this? 2010?
No,
No,
we
no,
got
no,
we got to
no.
do shots.
So
We got to do
let's-
shots for the Hulk.
No, listen. He used to run a Workle and 11 alts because, you know, whatever.
You know,
and skill check.
motherfuckers, this isn't talking in stations where we've got people that lose gold magnates.
You know what?
This is fucking open comms where we have a guy
Where we
who has a
lose.
who has a Rorqual and a bunch of fucking Hulks. We're going back
Yes.
to 2009 in the after show.
You know what? It's coming from a guy that doesn't fucking play. other
Oh,
than
okay,
myself, you can
suck
suck
a
my dick.
fuck-
bitch.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can suck my
Hold on,
dick.
90 days. Hold on,
Suck
90
my
days.
dick, bitch.
90 days got a question.
Because you know what? Fucking history trumps bogus motherfucker.
History what?
Hold
History
on,
what?
90.
History
Wait,
of you
look.
not doing any fucking thing but
Whoa!
talking shit on a fucking
I have
Eccleston
no
show?
problem. Look, I'm not
Yeah,
going to argue
Dirk.
about
Yeah,
history. I
Dirk.
know,
Yeah, what
I
about
know
that?
they fucked up in the past.
all right, we're gonna go to After Dark, but 90 Day has a
Oh,
question. He
God.
says, "What's Dirk's origin story? He drinks and he knows things."
Hold on. Was it origin ... or was it like origin story? Like
no, just
lowercase
origin story.
origin.
Origins. You've never had
It
an
was
origin ...
lowercase origin?
story, Dirk.
Why do
Lowercase
you need
origin.
dots, Dirk? Did you leave? and
Like
come
it
back
was
like
lowercase.
everyone
It was
else?
not
No,
as.
I'm trying to find out if it's an origin story.
It
like,
was-
What is he referring to?
it
Like,
was
Is it like where did Dirk
your
come from?
start-
Thing,
your
or is it
startup
like,
corp,
or was it
it-
like, how many Elo dicks did he suck?
No,
over the
no,
course of a
because
year's year?
like
Dirk, how many
there
views
was
though?
not a zero, Dirk. Origin
I
is a
only
zero.
sucked
It's
a
not
half
no.
an Elo
It's
dick,
not
but-
no, Dirk. That's a little
The
that's a
Russian
little
guy
known
made me do it
fact.
that time.
Rain, you have
Little
anything
known
to say about
fact. The
that?
origin is a zero, not a zero, not an O.
There's a reason I'm not there anymore. Because I'm over 20.
Nobody calls
I'm
him a
over
zero,
20. And I don't
What?
talk to people
Rain?
under
What?
18,
You're
so-
that old? Damn. Rain, you're past your prime. Just like cash in the
Over
ring.
21 is past
Look,
your
Yeah,
prime.
look, cash
I'm
in
not gonna
that.
lie. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, Rain's, like, looked
Cash in
older
that
than me
ring
recently.
finger. You're never gonna get married. You're like,
It's not her fault.
oh, what is that?
I bought her a ring, dude.
Oh
She's good to
shit! Oh well,
she's good to
congratulations,
go.
you two. Like,
Yeah, she's good to go. Bro.
when's the
Are
wedding?
we actually
Are you gonna have that in
Eve
next
Toronto.
term?
Eve Toronto.
Awamaki? Oh, you're
Look,
actually.
it's right here, dude.
You're
Hold
gonna
on.
have your-
let the diamond sink in
Yeah.
for a minute.
You're gonna
Let
have
the
the-
diamond
We're
sink in
still
for a
on
minute.
INN,
Hold
or-
on.
Yeah,
Like,
we're
you
still
know.
9. It's fine. It's fine. Like you can have the wedding in the
So,
real world.
Wolf, are you comfortable bringing her to Eve things yet? That's the
No,
big
it's fine.
test.
Me and my wife decided that Rain's part of the family now.
Oh,
So
so
it is
she
what
can
it is,
have your
bro.
wedding ring.
Sister
That's fine.
wives.
That's
You guys
good.
moving to
Yeah.
Utah?
So in my family, we can buy like $5,000 rings for everybody. It's fine.
All right, we have
your
to.
party
We have
is
at this point we have to
Right.
go to my channel. We're done on this.
Are we still on that same channel?
We're on
Yes,
we're on
yes,
that
yes.
channel.
Yeah,
Dirk.
yeah.
We have to cut it because.
I wouldn't have done the whole Israeli mafia thing.
Oh,
Like,
oh,
'cause I'm just,
okay,
like,
but
not
he-
down with fucking
All right, so-
Ilhan Omar and shit like.
So,
yeah,
Dirk,
whatever.
here's the thing. We finally got the Open Comms podcast online. We
Finally.
put like
Stations, what?
we
Whatever,
put two.
dude. Nobody gives a shit what we said last week.
No,
they
but
do,
we
because
put
people
two
were
and a
asking-
half
they thought
months.
we weren't on the air anymore.
We,
'cause
no,
they
no,
weren't
we
seeing the
put
podcast.
2.5 months up in a single night. I give Miss Country
Did you
credit
get
for that.
Honestly,
Did you
right
get
now,
paid yet?
I want
Did
that
you get paid
motherfucker to
yet?
watch 2.5 months
No.
in one 24-hour day while
There
doing
should be a
shots
medal.
with us.
There should be a medal for that.
Actually, I don't want
Drayden,
that
there
because
there
like,
is
I
a
don't want you
question
to
I have
die.
for you.
But now
please-
that
please
we're
don't
doing
kill
the
our
thing
audience,
on
Brandon.
time, and I need
Did you
to
get paid?
cut
Did
this.
you get paid?
No, I'm not
Did you
worried
get
about.
paid?
I'm not worried about.
Binge watch
No,
Open
I don't
Comms,
get
like,
paid for this.
Don't
I don't
do
get
it
paid for
sober.
this.
Don't do it drunk.
You don't get paid for my ass.
Well, no. The
Drayden,
pe-
we gotta switch off the stream.
we do, but
Dude,
the-
we're not fucking Matterall. We don't have fucking Patreons
we have
that are buying
times.
our,
We
like,
have times.
luggage.
We,
Where's
but
our
Talking
Patreon?
stations when?
no, we have times. But like when people Iron Wolf, when people donate to the show, it goes to the Open Comms overall wallet, and we use that to buy
Hookers
stuff
and
for this.
blow and
Open
like
Comms.
Well,
concerned
I
because
was
the-
like, we
the
use that
Cabana's
to
not
buy
gonna be there
show.
next year. I'm a little
the
concerned. about
cabana
that.
in Toronto is
Damn.
gonna be filled
No,
with fucking ice, and you gotta have a fucking big dick
Damn,
to jump in.
damn, Dirk, like I was just like we used to like buy show services, and then you just go
Like,
into
don't
Hookers
jump
and
in 'cause,
blow.
like, my daughter's gonna be there and shit, and it's like nobody wants to see fucking internet dicks.
Well, me and my wife
Well,
and
hold
my
on.
daughter are gonna have fun.
Hold on, Dirk. Does she want Hookers and blow? Because I'll get that for her if she.
Dude, I swear to fucking God, I will knock your ass out in fucking hookers or blow.
But which one is worse than
I mean,
the
I'm
other?
not saying you and I can't meet in a fucking bathroom. I'm just saying.
How many times do I need to tap my foot in the stall?
No, I'm not gonna fucking tap your foot fucking anywhere. My fucking
tap
hand will be
that,
on
though.
your throat going,
Yo.
blow, bitch.
Brayden, can we take turns, bro?
Which I don't
Anyway,
even know what that
anyway.
means right now, but like,
Anyway, we're out of here for tonight on the INN channel. We're going to my channel
Yeah,
the
whatever.
after dark.
Later, bitches.
We're secreting off into our secret place.
But anyway, yeah. So shots to the road. We always do that,
Ingredients
right?
for tea.
Shots. Shots. Bam. Later, bitches.
Bitches.
I want to wait for the music to end to like cut it. Is this a long one, LB? It's a long one?